Rated M for mature.
Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm FuFuCuddilyPoof, and this is level 250. That sounds like a milestone. Sounds like something we should do special. We'll see what happens. Joining me tonight is Big Ell.
I've been told I'm special.
That you are. Kooshmoose.
Hello.
And Matrarch.
Hello.
250 episodes, a quarter of 1,000.
Makes me feel young.
You've been going at this for quite a while.
It's been a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's just jump right into what makes this podcast tick.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Food.
Yeah, nothing. Okay, yeah. Food talk. I can sort of start that off, but
no.
We learned, Kenny learned that you can microwave syrup, as we say in the Northeast.
Yeah, syrup. All right, I'm not going to do that to Michelle. No,
Fine.
We'll just go with the patron question for the week, which is, what's the best video game
Food.
quote? No. Obviously, tell us what game it is from, and if you can, tie it back to achievements somehow. And actually, what's the best video game food? That's a good question, too.
We'll keep that in mind for another week.
Let's do that next week. That way we can talk about food for the first hour.
It's true. Does any game have a Taco Bell tie-in that you know of offhand?
Doritos Crash Course.
We'll find it if there is. All right, so first patron response comes from Red Stack and says, I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow to the knee. Or, well, that's three. The second one is, let me guess, somebody stole your sweet roll. And the third choice would be war. War never changes. And then he says, sorry, I like them all, and Skyrim and Fallout are high on my favorite games.
And she likes those Westerners.
Oh, yeah, them Western RPGs. I mean, when I first read this question, I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the knee, is definitely like one of the first ones that popped in my head. Especially because that has just been everywhere for the memes.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that. Even people who haven't played Skyrim knows that. That's such a random one-off line that some guard says to you. Same thing with the, let me guess, somebody stole your sweet roll. It's another one where the guards will just randomly say to you when you approach them.
Oh, that's another Elder Scrolls one? Okay.
Yep, that's a Skyrim one. That one is definitely much less known, and only people that have played it would know that one.
Is that like related to a quest or something? Or part of the story?
No, just... I assume
really
you guys have played some sort of an Elder Scrolls game, so like when you just approach someone, you just kind of get near them, they just say a random thing. Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the things that like a guard might say when you get near them.
Okay.
So there's no other relevance anywhere.
Nah, it's not that I remember.
Right, it's just a park. Got it.
And then his third choice, war never changes. I assume that's a Fallout.
Yeah, that's
but
a Fallout.
I don't recall that one.
I know it's a Fallout thing because in this, like thinking about this question, trying to like look up stuff to jog my memory, that showed up frequently. So it was definitely attributed to Fallout.
Did it say which Fallout by any chance?
I feel like I saw it for 3 and maybe a variant for New Vegas, but I'm not saying this from any knowledge and not from looking at it now, just from trying to remember what I researched like 4 hours ago.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. I would have assumed 3 just because that's like the big
I
one.
think it's 3.
That or New Vegas. And
all right, I'll be regaling us with trivia throughout the show, tying it back to achievements. I know, because this is what I do to amuse myself. How many achievements in other games have an achievement? How many games have an achievement called Arrow to the Knee?
Oh, that's actually an interesting question.
I'm gonna guess 6, just arbitrarily.
I'm gonna guess 25.
Just go with 10 then, somewhere in the middle.
Oh, this is
actually,
Price is
the
Right
answer is
format?
only... All right, I'll go with 1.
It always is. 1?
Yeah,
the
there's
guy who
actually
knows the
only
answer.
4 that I see.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, there's only 4.
Huh.
That's actually kind of surprising. I would have thought that there'd be more.
Yeah,
there
I
might be
thought
different
more as
variations of it, but I just typed in arrow to the knee, and 3 of them have exclamation points after. Division 2, Crisis 3, Smite, and Crisis 3 Remastered. How about that?
All right.
So there you go.
Arrow to the knee.
Interesting.
Arrow to the knee. All right, thank you, Red Stack.
And
There's the portion of the show where you tell our listeners to cover their ears, or just snowflakes.
Did Kenny
like you,
get to
Kenny.
go over Kenny's quotes?
No,
He doesn't
have
have an answer. He
his other
doesn't
one
play-
or his own.
He's
All
only
right,
ever played
I'm
Skyrim.
just making
so-
sure. Just making sure.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
Let's be
Kenny.
honest.
I apologize.
outside of that, what the one that everyone knows I'm going to say is,
I don't know.
finishing this fight.
Of course.
What's that from?
That is the very first one that popped in my head.
Is that the
And then
John Wick
Arrow
game?
to the knee is the second.
Sounds
What's
like
that
something
from?
John Wick's guy would say.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that, Dragon Ball or something?
It was from that guy that's in Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Master Queef.
Really? What?
Wow.
That's not the worst thing that we're going to hear.
I'm pretty sure that's Saints Row.
El's all excited for his turn because he gets to
Well, my turn has been
Earn us
delayed
an
according to
explicit-
the sheet.
content warning. So
Elle is very excited.
He's-
for
I'm
his
excited for many reasons.
Never mind. All right, and then the other response I'm gonna read is from X, who says, in Tales of Symphonia, there's an attack called Demon Fang, where you launch a burst of energy from your sword. After using it enough times, you'll learn double Demon Fang, which just launches 2 bursts back to back, and your character obviously shouts out the name of the move. When you learn double Demon Fang with one character called Zealous, he says, Demon Fang, Demon Fang. Damn, I must be a genius. Double Demon Fang. It just cracks me up because it's so on the nose and calls out some JRPG special attack stereotypes.
that's I would not have known that from personal play, but that's a good shout there because it's definitely something a little different than the norm. And good on them for
Yes.
calling out those stereotypes from the way that JRPGs are structured, because that's totally a thing. You thought heal was one? Oh, heal was good? Now try heal 2. Thanks, game.
All right, Elle, go ahead and read your dirty response.
I don't want it now. You're hyping it up too much.
I'll just have to put one giant censor bar here.
Well, first I'm going to talk about some of my answers, and I have like a million of them. And I'm sorry,
Go
Nate,
for it.
if I take any of yours, but I'm old, so I only thought of old things. So right off the bat, I thought of Super Mario. You know, thank you. The princess is in another castle. Does that count as a quote?
Yeah,
I'm going to say yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Toad says it,
I would
right?
count it.
You
That was
count it?
back before language was invented.
It
so
was
it's
before
not like
language.
it actually said it.
It was before language.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Sanskrit tiles we translated it from.
Form, yep.
And of course, the original Legend of Zelda. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this, which still lives on today, as far as I know. I see that all the time.
Yes.
And if you want to tie that back to achievements, there's around 10 achievements titled that, which I would have thought more also.
That's also surprising. I would have thought more than that.
And
Cool.
of course, also, it's a secret to everybody, which I love to say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, now
What were
I
you going to say,
know
Kenny?
how many achievements are there that say, hey, listen?
Oh. Oh, you could look
That's
that
a
up.
good one. I'll get on that one. Hold on.
That's not really a good quote.
It's a
This
quote,
Navi's terrible.
and it's requoted over and over and over again.
Oh, God.
It's popular enough to where I know it, and I've never
It's the
played
first
it.
voice sample ever in a Nintendo game.
Apparently, there is one Hey Listen in the Surge, which does have a stack.
Whoa. Oh, man.
And
I
then
can
if you
go all
type
day
in-
with this.
oh, well. Hold on. So there's some things
Go
with
ahead.
TAs.
I could go all day. That's a good quote.
with
Hey,
TAs filter, if you just type in Hey
Got 2
Listen, it's
minutes.
only going to return those Surge achievements, but if you type in "hey, comma, listen!" exclamation point, you get 4 different achievements.
Mm.
One from Serial Cleaner, one from Suberia,
TA's
one from Eternum EX, and another from Monster Prom XXL. And the Monster Prom one even has a little circle with wings icon for the achievement.
As it should be.
Definitely should be. Yeah, so the 2 more recent ones, which really aren't that recent, were from PlayStation 1 era, which of course is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. What is a Man? A miserable little pile of secrets. And that one, see, this era, we had actual voice acting, so that one we heard, and just amazing. And of course, the original Resident Evil, in which we wound up with the phrase the Master of Unlocking. I think it's Jill. Why don't you, the Master of Unlocking, take this lockpick? And if you look that up on TA, you'll get a lot of achievements because Master of Unlocking, perfect name for an achievement. I counted around 20 of those.
Really?
And 20 Master of Unlockings.
I wouldn't have thought it was that many.
20 Master of Unlockings and 1 called Master of Unlocking Achievements. Which is the nail right on the head. That's Her Majesty Spiffing. Great game. All right, time to read some patron responses. Mighty Mango said from Army of 2. Philip Clyde says, no problem, fucko. And then he gives the middle finger and jumps off the ship. And then Elliot Salem says, fucko, who says that? And Mango complained that you heard this over and over because I guess it was a hard part in the game and you can't skip the cutscenes. Which I do remember.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Playing with Michelle locally, and there was a lot of hard parts where you couldn't skip cutscenes. So
yeah,
that, of course, sucks. I feel like, yeah.
There was another one, though, I don't know if you remember, but it's toward the end of Army of 2, and one of the characters says, like, well, if you were to look up something in the dictionary, it would be this guy. But I don't remember the word that he was saying. And I was curious because I didn't look it up. So I was curious if you happen to remember that, or if that's just something that I have in my head.
No, I don't remember. I thought it was
wasn't
Wikipedia, but I'll do some research when it's not my turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
I mean,
I was at the end of the game.
I got to play that.
I could be misremembering too. Like a lot of our Army of 2 playing was like midnight to 3 a.m. on Saturday night, so those were long evenings.
Yeah. And then Chewie on Ice posted a screenshot from Quest for Infamy in which he says, I guess there's a character named Roem who says, if I find out that you are lying to me, Randy, I'll hunt you down and stuff your own entrails so far down your throat you'll shit twice out of your own anus. And,
well,
I guess based on this, I want to play this game now. Is this that rat that Waka's always going on about? Pretty sure it is.
Yes.
We'll say yes. It's a Rattleika that's longer than a half an hour, so it has a high ratio. And last in the patron responses, as far as I'm going to read, of course, they left this one for me because it's a wrestling one. It's Mental Knight wrote in and said, a winner is you from the NES Classic Pro Wrestling.
Naturally.
So many of these older ones come from like localization errors.
Right.
Yes.
Like they're just bad English translations. And that was definitely didn't understand it at the time.
Right.
Just like, oh, that's hilarious.
Someone set us up the bomb. All that stuff.
Yep. Move all zigs.
Well, the best
so a high.
Yeah, it's another one I don't.
I was going to say, in the original Metal Gear, there's someone who says, I feel asleep, and that's another classic.
Yeah. Ahizo says, had to be me. Someone else might have gotten wrong. Mass Effect 3. Okay, sure. To avoid spoilers, the saddest moment in the entire Mass Effect series. Okay, well, when you hear that, you'll know it's cute to cry. And the moment you realize there was never any possibility of stopping what's about to happen. Wow, I have no idea what's going on there. Dynaman87 says,
you need to play Mass Effect 4. You would like these games.
I'll play it eventually.
They're long.
Dynaman87 says, In GTA 4, Nico Bellic says, war is when the young and stupid are tricked by the old and bitter into killing each other.
Wow.
That's dark.
Yeah. No, it didn't get dark at all. What the Fuck says, all we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. Which is from San Andreas, I believe. We were talking about earlier. And Chesno says, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought he could give Cave Johnson lemons. You know who I am? I'm the man who's going to burn your house down with the lemons. I'm going to get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down. It's Cave Johnson from Portal 2. I haven't heard that, but that sounds hilarious.
That's so great.
Good memory, Chesno.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds like my type of humor. For me, Elle took a bunch of the classics.
Saw we.
And I didn't want to repeat those because I thought, everyone's going to say those. All the old timers will say those. So instead, kind of particular to my history, one of my first jobs was as a programmer in a language called Cold Fusion, which is a web programming, web scripting language. And around that time, or I guess before that, there was a game called StarCraft. And they had, from Blizzard, they had the most amazing cutscenes. And there was this one cutscene where the StarCraft humans are carrying in this box, and you're like, oh, what's in the box? And it turns out it's a cooler holding beer and a nuclear weapon. And they're like, thank God for Cold Fusion. And
nice.
That's stuck with me forever because I used to program in Cold Fusion. So I would come in and I'd be like, thank God for Cold Fusion. And I was starting to do my job and no one knew what I was talking about. So that one's been with me forever. And I don't know that many people would relate to that one. So I thought that'd be a fun one to share. That's it for me. What about you, Michelle?
All right. I will dive right into some patron responses. MDP first, of course, regaled us, Mark, with all the Rocket League quotes. What a save. But then doubled down and
wow,
actually gave us a real quote here. So MDP says, Little Misfortune has a few memorable quotes. Yikes Forever, and a few more additions from Retro as well. So Retro, I guess, had added some others, and sorry, I didn't capture that. And then MDP also adds, great game too. Everyone should try it. GT3 Option Fan says, when telling Guybrush to use a cliff in Monkey Island 4, he says, goodbye, cruel adventure game. Forget it. Which has always stuck in my memory. P. Tart adds, not putting my lips on that, from Full Throttle. And Vulgar Latin... Vulgar Latin adds, a man chooses, a slave obeys, from BioShock. Which is great. And the whole scene that follows that is great. And BioShock is one of those very quotable sort of titles where you get this one. Obviously, Would You Kindly is another big one. So good choices all. I personally was trying to come up with one quote that was a little bit more kind of like a deeper, more thoughtful quote, and then something that was fun, and trying to stick to 360 hours because I too am or 360 or newer, but I think I mostly didn't succeed at that. But I got 360 quotes, and I'm also obviously a gamer of a certain age, so a lot of my immediate thoughts were these ones that we've already covered. So the first quote I wanted to point out from the more serious camp is from Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey is just this amazing RPG that we're very fortunate came out on Xbox. And if I had the time and the wherewithal, there's a whole structure in the game where the main character is sort of reliving his memories through these dreams. And the whole Hannah's departure story is amazing and sad and hits you right in all the feels. It's great. But we don't have that kind of time. So one of the quotes in the game that was really memorable that I didn't remember totally offhand, but I found was a quote that Kime, the main character, says, who is a immortal and watches, has had multiple families and friends that he's seen come and go because he's both gifted and cursed with immortality. And he says at some point early in the game, when people die, they just go away. If there's any place a soul would go, it's in your memories. People you remember are with you forever. which really speaks to his character and how he processes a lot of stuff through the game. So that sentiment has always stuck with me. If you remember people, they're still with you, and that's super powerful. But on the fun side, and also related to achievements, there is another great Portal 2 quote, and that Cave Johnson quote's great. And the whole game is tremendously written. But there's a scene in the game, late in it, maybe like the third or second to last chapter, where you walk into a room, and character A goes, "This is the part where he's going to kill us." And character B goes, "This is the part where I kill you." And then the name of the chapter shows up. "This is the part where he kills you." And then the achievement pops, "The part where he kills you." And the description is, "This is that part." Brilliant. Like, all that stuff happens. And like, because
that's
the game
amazing.
Portal 2 never takes itself too seriously, but it is telling a story, where Portal 1 had a story and had some lore in there, but that wasn't really the point. You can dig for it and find it. But Portal 2 was more story-driven, and that was just so brilliant, because you're entering this room and there's a sense of, oh no, here's the big bad, and the achievement popping with the name, "This is the part where he kills you," was just brilliant and completely memorable, and just an awesome job all around.
Perfect. Which, speaking of Portal, I'm surprised no one just mentioned, the cake is a lie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of, and this was the thought I kept running through when we had this question. There's a lot of stuff, it's quotable, right? Quotes are quotes, but most of what people remember are sort of quips. They're very short, and I don't know if there's any technical difference. It's just the way that it popped out in my head. But they're real short, like Nate pointed out before. They're frequently like mistranslations or things that are just kind of a little goofy. They're not really those sentiments. Like, if you type in top 100 video game quotes online, it's all these like 4-paragraph long monologues that people made in like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And they're great and they're well written, but frankly, we're not going to remember a lot of that. Something like with Halo, we're going to remember finishing the fight. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason why we're kind of programmed to take that part out of it. So that's mostly what we're going to get. So it's not surprising we didn't hear some of the other more expansive quotes, because who's going to remember all of it? Except for Chesno. He has a super memory.
Unbelievable memory.
I mean, there's even like other like little quips. Another one that's especially on the meme scene is "No Russian."
Yes.
Which anyone who has played that game knows exactly what that is.
Yes.
Even if you didn't play Modern Warfare 2, I'm sure everyone knows what that is.
Yeah.
Except maybe Ell.
No, I have no idea. But I did think of another one that we all know, because it's something we say all the time.
What's that?
Just a minute.
That's definitely a more recent one. That's good. I didn't think of that.
For those questions from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Shredder's Revenge.
Which, if you haven't played that game, play that game. It's so good. It is a great, great game. Yeah. The other one I thought of, especially for Al and Michelle, you guys will appreciate this, is "My tomatoes!"
Oh my God, yes.
Very yes.
Hey, Gears. We needed a Gears quote.
Right, and just researching before we recorded, there's plenty of Gears quotes that are floating around out there. I don't remember a single one of them that I read. As I read them, I'm like, okay, I remember what scene this is from. But yeah, they just, word for word, they don't stick with me. There was a Halo one that came up a lot with like, "Your name will be remembered forever for your action." Like, it was something with like, people won't remember you, but your actions will be remembered. Even in talking about, I read that quote like 7 times, reading through different articles about different quotes, and it still didn't stick with me. Another one that none of us mentioned was the Assassin's Creed one. Everything is permitted.
Yes. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
Yeah. And nobody
Such a good one. I'm
picked up on that one.
Wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think about that when I have an Assassin's Creed poster right in front of my face.
Yeah, totally.
And the Gears one, Coltrane go. No, shoot, I had it. I just lost it.
Oh. Woo woo.
Yeah, woo. All right, I'm not going to butcher it. I had it and just lost it.
Yeah, I would not try to.
It's gone.
Actually, nope. Let it live in your memory.
You'll ruin it.
Unbelievable. Looks like to finish this out, Hawkeye didn't tag me appropriately, but he put one that we didn't mention, of course, which is finish him.
Oh, so there we go.
Oh, yes.
Fatality. I guess you could call those quotes too. Little quips, like Michelle said.
Right.
Sure. No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Like, sure. I meant, yeah. Finish him. That's a good one. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. And then we got if you're going to put that, you got to put NBA Jam. He's on fire. Boom shakalaka.
Toasty.
Yeah.
Well, I think in that way, a lot of that stuff stands out. Those kinds of things in particular, because these are fairly early on in like hearing voices in games. So just those little sounds kind of stick with us very, very well, as opposed to there's tremendous writing in video games, like legitimately tremendous, like well-written characters. And, you know, I know from talking with the Master Raiders crew recently about Celeste that there's a lot of really good, strong content in that game. I couldn't remember a word for answering this question, though. We're just more attuned to remembering that real quick, easy, you know, and everybody reacts to it because we all know it. We all know Boom. Well, I don't want to say everybody, because certainly there's age to consider too, but Boom Shakalaka is a thing that everyone at that time certainly would recognize and know and associate with NBA Jam. So,
yeah, I haven't played that, and I knew that.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't mess up my ride.
Well, unless you
came
guys
here to kick ass
others.
And chew bubble gum.
That's a good one.
Oh,
also another one. I never played Duke Nukem, but I know that.
Oh no. Well, that's kind of a stolen one, but
right.
Duke Nukem. It's actually a quote from the movie They Live. But
I'll see.
You have to hear that. You hear it in Duke Nukem's voice. You just do.
Yes,
I totally get it.
Totally I didn't know it was from anything else. I just know it from Duke Nukem.
Yep.
All right. Well, as long as you guys don't have any others that you want to shout out, shall we continue?
I'll thanks, Devin. Another fun one.
Yes. And before we continue, if anyone listening has any that we missed or any quotes that you want to mention, be sure to do so in Discord in the podcast discussion room. Let us know which ones are your favorites or which ones that we missed that we should have mentioned. Which I'm sure there's plenty that we missed.
There's a million. Yep.
There's so many.
Yeah, let me know some more recent ones.
We'll just randomly shout them out as we think of them throughout the show.
Just a minute. Okay.
Game showcase time. Nate, what game do you want to talk about?
Well, apparently I'm going to talk about games. We'll start off with the short one. Very first one, Ravenlok. So this just came to Game Pass, surprising no one. And I played it. It's from developer Coco Cucumber. I think I mentioned this. I think we mentioned it last week or the week before when we were talking about Game Pass.
We did mention
coming,
it last week.
You know, games that were coming. And I put a little note in there saying that not a voxel to be seen. Well, that's not true. Coco Cucumber, they're the guys that do everything voxel. So they were in the game, but they weren't used like they did in their other two games. In their other two games, the voxels would kind of explode and you get like little particle effects and everything. In this, they didn't do that. This game is really good looking. If you look at the screenshots for it, if you look at any of the videos, they've really worked that art style and they've got a really good look to it.
Definitely.
There's not a whole lot. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this game. It kind of plays a little bit like a Alice in Wonderland a little bit. They've kind of taken a mishmash of all these kind of like fairy tales and childhood stories and kind of like mix them and made a little story out of it. You basically start off on this farm. Your family has moved out to this farm that you've inherited, and you discover a mirror that takes you into this enchanted world, and then you just spend the next 3 or 4 hours hacking and slashing your way through stuff, leveling up, and finding collectibles. That's pretty much it.
Short game.
Yeah, it's a very short game. And it's not a bad little experience. It looks good. It doesn't overstay its welcome. There's no missables. Puzzles are all easily solvable.
That's why you played this game.
Well, I played it because it was there, and it was there to do, and that's just what I do.
It's because of the achievement, Wolf.
Okay, yes. So there is an achievement for petting the dog. This is true. And, got it right away.
You got him.
So yeah, it's a good little game. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to it, but if for some reason you're holding off, just know it only takes about 4 or 5 hours. 5 hours if you're kind of taking your time. It's not very difficult. It's a pleasant little experience. Cute little game. Coco Cucumber says this is the third game in their voxel trilogy, and they're kind of done with voxels after this, they say.
Good.
But I heard an interview with one of the designers. Didn't sound like they were actually done with voxels, but I guess they were done with like this style of game. So who knows what they're going to do. But they were saying that there was a lot of people requesting that they make a sequel to Echo Generation, which is totally voxel based. So I don't know how they're going to get away from that if they end up doing an Echo Generation 2 or anything. But yeah, fun little game. That was before I had gotten far enough in the next game I want to talk about. So I wanted to make sure that I had seen a lot of the game and had possibly even rolled credits to be able to talk about it. There were a lot of high-profile games that came out around the same time that were kind of plagued with some issues, technical issues and things. People were kind of down on them. And I wanted to give Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I wanted to give it the full attention, and I wanted to see as much of it as I could. I just rolled credits last night.
Whoa.
Dang. Nice.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome.
And,
tore through that.
So I know earlier I said that Hogwarts was going to be hard to beat. I couldn't see anything else beating Hogwarts out this year. It's neck and neck, and
wow.
I think Jedi Survivor might have the edge based on combat. This game is amazing, and people have been talking. Like I said, they were talking about like technical issues and bugs and stuff. I was playing on the highest fidelity. So not the highest frame rate, but the highest fidelity. And I didn't really have any complaints. The game worked great for me. I didn't have any real bugs. I didn't get stuck in any weird rooms. My time with this game was amazing. And it's still going. I'm not quite done yet, but just an amazing game. And when it comes to Game Pass, or when it comes to EA and gets included in Game Pass Ultimate or whatever, you're really going to want to set some time aside to this. If this is your type of game, it is not to be missed. So what is it? You are, it's the second in hopefully a trilogy of Cal Kestis.
Oh, it will be.
Jedi War. Oh gosh, it's got to be. It's got to be. It's an action adventure game, which is basically a Metroidvania and a Souls-like mashup. They've really gone in and doubled down on that. That's exactly what it is, right? So like you're going out, you're fighting enemies and you're leveling up. And if you don't get back to your campfire, you don't get to bank that XP. It's lost out in the field. You can go back and pick it back up and you'll retain it. And then you can take it back to a campfire and save it. Total Souls-like formula there, but it's got the Metroidvania traversal and combat and exploration. It is the perfect game for me. It pushes all those buttons. Not to be a pun, but it's perfect game for me. This takes place 5 years after the story beats in Fallen Order. If you've played that game, you're in with a certain crew. You don't start out with that crew in this game, and instead you have a different crew, and you're working with Saw Gerrera, who, if you're familiar with the prequels, not the prequel. Sorry, the latest Star Wars movies. He's a character in those, and I'm hoping for more tie-ins in the third game. We'll see some more of that. The story in this game blew me away. I was not expecting the story to be so good. It's really well done. It's got emotional weight at times. It's funny. It just goes places, and I just wasn't expecting a whole lot from it. And it should not be dismissed that, the story is just, there to serve the action. There's at least 1 or 2 really good action set pieces, like in the first one. They're just so well done, and there's just like adrenaline is pumping, and it's just so good. And the lore and the story in this game is doled out in small chunks through like force echoes. So a lot of times you'll go in games, you'll pick up journals and you'll have to read this whole page of text, right? This game doesn't do that. They have little blurbs. So all the stuff that you're getting are like these little, easily digestible, easy to read and move on little blurbs that kind of just dribble out the story to you as you go along, give you backstory and give you side story. It's just really well done. The story is also told through the cutscenes and lots of conversations. A lot of times, Ell, this is for you. I had you in mind the whole time. It is so worth it in this game to talk to everyone at every chance until they kind of dismiss you. I don't always do that.
Really?
Sometimes I do. The game really has to pull me in.
Mm-hmm.
This game totally pulled me in. Every time I came back to my base or, the central area, I would make the rounds, talk to everyone until they were done. Just because of the story. It was just so good. And like they comment on things that you've been doing. They comment on other people that are in the home base and what they've been doing. And it's so well done.
So is it the type of game where you pick a response or it's just a natural conversation?
No,
okay.
Which is my favorite. I don't want to pick a response.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then I'm always worried about, does that change the outcome?
Miss? Yeah, right.
Exactly. Like I don't want to deal with that. So you're basically just talking and then you're just hearing the dialogue go back and forth. Cool. And it's really good. Sometimes that will result in a new side quest. You could go find that side quest naturally, but sometimes that conversation will put a little, area on your map that you have to go explore, and then you'll actually get the side quest. The video game barks. We were talking about video game barks, just random text said by enemy characters or, people as you're walking down the street. They are so worth it in this game to just kind of eavesdrop. Like
I've seen a couple of those online. A couple. They are so good.
They're so good. When you're playing this game and you're about to go into a bit of combat, if you hear the enemy talking, stop. Just stop walking. Just listen to their conversation. Because a lot of times they'll just be talking about, I get to retire tomorrow. Like, I've got the easiest job in the world. I get to hang out on this cliff and watch nature and,
I saw that one. That's hilarious.
and kill villagers and, any, creatures I want to. This is just the life. And then immediately you stab them with a lightsaber. And then sometimes Cal will say something hilarious after that too. It is just so well done. Just the care that they put into these little jokes that they're just dropping in. It's so good. On the second playthrough, at least in the early game, it's totally littered with foreshadow. Just turns of phrases just mean things differently. And like, you're picking out stuff as you go. They really paid attention to the story is what I'm trying to say. So nice. This is just a great game. A lot of times in Metroidvanias, you'll have that problem where, especially a sequel, you're super powered, right? After the first game, you've done everything. You've gotten to the mountaintop. You have every power and you're super unstoppable. Then you go to the sequel and they take everything away. They don't do that. They don't do that in this game. They finally found a way to get around that. Yeah, they found a way to get away with that. So you have all your force powers. But what they do now is they make you stronger by giving you stances. So different ways to fight with different lightsaber combinations. So you have a single lightsaber, dual lightsaber, double-bladed lightsaber, and a couple other things that I don't want to spoil if you're interested in that. But they have, I think, 5 stances all total. Each of them has like a skill tree that you can build up with experience, and they get more powerful and they get more abilities and things like that. So that's how they kind of get around that depowering problem with Metroidvanias. However, they still have a problem. They still kind of fall for it. Towards the end of the game, you remember some abilities that you probably should have remembered. Whatever, it's fine. But like, luckily the whole game didn't suffer from that. It wasn't super unrealistic. But I got to the end, it's like, there it is. There's the common Metroidvania problem, and it's there. Combat is a lot of fun for me. It has to do a lot with blocking. So you can just be wailing on enemies, and if they block, they're not going to take any damage. You have to get their block meter down. The way you do that is by attacking. But more importantly, you do that by parrying their attacks. So you'll have a window of time where you can hit the parry button as they're swinging at you. That'll take off a huge chunk of their block meter. Once their block meter's gone, then you can start hurting them. And it just looks really, really good. You sometimes have companions that fight alongside you. And these companions are useful. A lot of times when your companion fights with you, they're off in the distance. They're shooting. They're always missing. These guys actually hit. They actually do damage. They'll actually take people away from you that are like chasing you. They do a great job of doing that. You can also command them to do a special ability that's on a cooldown. So sometimes that'll stun people in the area. Sometimes they'll just lock them down. It's just really well done. I've had times where I'm like, I'm in need of healing. I've got like 1 or 2 bars left. I'm really worried about my next block. Am I going to be able to get it right? Or am I going to get hit and die and have to go back to the thing? And my companion just takes them out. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. Thank you. The original game had a lot of complaints about things like the traversal and backtracking to find everything. You had to run everywhere. They didn't have quick travel. This game, they've added that. They've added fast travel. They've added, I don't remember if the first game had maps with locations of collectibles. This game, you will unlock map upgrades, which will tell you where those things are, and you can go find them. There are mounts. This game is much larger. So like if you were to run everywhere, it would, be kind of arduous, but there are mounts sometimes that you can jump onto, after you learn the ability to tame them. They'll help you just cross, large open areas quickly. Sometimes they'll also help you get to new areas you couldn't get to on foot. Just really well done. There'll be dark areas where you use your lightsaber like a flashlight. That's cool. To just kind of like see what's going on in the cave. It looks so good. And then the outfits. I went back because I couldn't remember what the outfits looked like. I went back to the original, Fallen Order, and you basically just had a poncho, and that was your outfit. You had a poncho, and what you unlocked were different skins for the poncho. So different color schemes for the poncho. It was really limited, and really kind of sad. This game, the outfits that you get are different character models, and they have different color schemes that you can apply to each one. And you can mix and match, your head or your jacket, your shirt, your pants, and then your haircuts. You can have haircuts and facial hair. It's just, they've kind of gone way above and beyond with that. They actually make fun of they take a shot at themselves of the outfits from the first game. I don't want to tell you about it, but there's an achievement for it. It's hilarious. I'm looking forward to getting that one very soon. As far as difficulty options, when we talk about accessibility, this game is off the charts with their accessibility options. There are presets for like story mode, story difficulty, which is very easy if you don't like action games, but you want to get the story. Number one, I don't know why you're here. Like this game, the action and the story go hand in hand so well. But if you have trouble with combat, that story mode, you're going to fly through the game. No problem. But they have like 5 different difficulty modes. I think you might even have a custom where you can change sliders. There's slow-mo combat, so you can turn that on. It's not on by default, but if you go into combat and your reaction time is poor, or, it's just the game's too fast for you, you can have it jump into like 40% combat speed as soon as you get into combat. It's fantastic. Like they've thought of a lot of things. Yeah. You can turn off fall damage. A lot of times, like if things are kind of wonky with like hit detection and, wall jumping and wall climbing and all that fun stuff, you can just turn off fall damage. And then, if it doesn't connect properly, you don't take any health away. You just keep trying it till you get it right. So I did that one. I didn't feel bad about that, and it goes really well. When you finish the story, it opens up a brand new game mode. You have New Game Plus mode. They give you a couple more perks that you can put on your character, which just kind of change slight changes to the way the game plays and the way your character does damage or takes damage. There's a party mode for your lightsaber where every time you swing it, it changes color. That's kind of fun for a couple minutes, but then I had to go back to my pink lightsabers because I love it. Map upgrades help you with your cleanup. Now, Vulgar will still be upset and still talk poorly about this game because your lightsaber does not always chop off limbs. It does not always cut things in half, but it does it more than it did before. A lot of times when you're finishing an enemy and you get the last hit on them or two, an arm will come off, a leg will come off. Sometimes you'll chop them in half. If you're fighting with your companion and you're both really close to the enemy, sometimes you'll get rewarded with like a combo finish. So you'll like do like this really fancy move, and they'll get the kill or you'll get the kill. It's really cool. And if you don't like that, you can turn off dismemberment and play it just like Fallen Order, with very little dismemberment, I guess. But the game is great. The achievements are, for the most part, progression based. Then there's collectibles based. There's a couple that are, just do the cool thing. There is a pet the bog achievement. So there's a little bogling animal that's basically a dog, and you can pet it, and so you get that one.
That's why I likes this.
Yep, and it's just it's a fun game. I don't think that the achievements are crazy. The cleanup is not going to be difficult because, well, not as difficult as it could be because they give you all sorts of aids. This is one of those rare sequels where it's just so much better than the first game.
I was actually about to ask that, which one's better.
Yeah, so this one, I actually went back.
No contest.
I went back and I played Fallen Order for about 5 minutes. Number one, to check out the poncho, and number two, just to see how it felt. And I was playing it on the cloud because I didn't want to install it. And this just feels so much better. It's just such an improvement. Really good game. It's fun. It's fun to play a good game and get achievements as you go. And I'm just having the best time with Jedi Survivor. So when I hope more people get to play this when it comes to Game Pass in some form or fashion, or get super cheap. Fantastic game. Jedi Survivor.
Do you like it?
That's okay.
Okay.
So,
it's all right.
Koosh,
I was just getting a refresher on Respawn and what games they've developed.
Yeah.
They've never missed.
Nope.
They were like 5 for 5. Titanfall 2, Apex, Jedi Fallen Order, and Jedi Survivor.
Let me tell you, man, the first time I got to do my wall run again, it just felt so right. I was just like, oh, there it is. Oh, the wall run, it's so good. It's just so good.
So given that
we've... studio, man, they just don't miss.
Given that we've sacrificed Titanfall 3 to Jedi Survivor, you think this was a worthy sacrifice? Because I'm a little salty.
Yeah.
No.
I think so. I'm happy with it. Star Wars has a place in my heart that just, nothing can take its place. And I'm super excited for the third in the trilogy, but why can't we have both? Like, I'm all in for Titanfall 3. Let's do it. But if I had to pick one, this is so good because there is no Titanfall 3. So I'm happy with Jedi Survivor.
So I just wanted to go back real quick because when you're talking about Fallen Order versus Jedi Survivor, so if somebody had played neither game, would you say, hey, just pick up from Jedi Survivor? Or is this a case where you'd say, look, first of all, it's story, but also their quality of life improvements or whatever, like you're going to want to start with Fallen Order? Now, what would be your recommendation to someone coming new to this trilogy?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, if you're playing this trilogy, you're going to want to play the whole thing. So I would definitely start with the first one. It would be painful, I think, to go from Jedi Survivor back to Fallen Order and miss the fast travel and miss the ease of cleanup, those sorts of things. So if you were interested in this, I would say just, number one, it's a fantastic series. Like, you're not doing yourself any disservice by playing the first game first and waiting to play the second game, because the second game is just going to get better. They're going to keep patching it. I think they're on their second or third patch as of like this morning or yesterday.
Wow.
I haven't noticed any stability issues like with playing it day one versus the other couple patches applied. So yeah, I would say just go in, play the first one, enjoy it, and just know that Jedi Survivor is just in every way better.
So is it better enough though that Devin
Fallen
will
Order
come
is
around?
Game Pass. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
What's that?
Is it better enough that Devin will come around to it despite the limited dismemberments?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. It's so good. I mean, the story's so good. The action's so good. The fact that you don't chop off a limb here or there, whatever. I can get over that. It's a little disappointing. I'd love to be able to like carve my name in like a rock face. That'd be awesome. I'd love to just it's a little silly. I can't just open the backside of a building to go in and get that collectible. Instead, I have to hit the, get the MacGuffin to hit the switch that opens the door. That's a little whatever. But, I'd have to do that in other games too. So, yeah. I mean, this is the world we live in. We play video games. And sometimes your lightsaber can't cut open, a piece of plywood. That's fine. But I will eventually get into that room. And that's part of the joy of the Metroidvania, exploration puzzle. So I love that pain. And yeah, it's a little ridiculous, but whatever. I can live with it.
And I see you're 13 achievements away from the completion.
I am. A lot of it is just cleanup. I'm going for this collectible completion, going for finishing out this storyline. There is a character in this game that is so good. Like, such a character. There's so many characters in this game that are so good, but there's one in particular. I don't want to go into too much detail, but there's a fisherman you have to go meet. And there's fishing in Jedi Survivor. And the way they do their fishing is fantastic. It's so good. Like, normally, a fishing minigame is a pain in the butt, and you're just like, oh, this is the worst. Their fishing minigame, I don't want to ruin it, but it's basically conversation based. You just go and you have a conversation, and that's how you catch your fish. And it is so worth it. I look forward to it. I have 2 more to get, and I'm going to be sad when it's all over. Just because it's one of the highlights of the game. It's fantastic. This game is fantastic. That's, I'm done. It's good.
Yeah, it's just the only people I know who got this game are, besides you, is Prue. And, hats off to you. Glad you enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, it's a bad time to be playing new games that take a long time, right? Because there's GTAS going on, so people are afraid to play new games. But I don't care.
Oh, please.
I just don't care. I will not allow that to prevent me from playing good things I want to play.
What I said to you and what I worried about is, like you said, with all the patches, so you get punished a little bit for being an early adopter, which shouldn't be the case. You should get priority for spending full price on a game. Like, you should not have a lackluster experience. Sounds like you didn't get hit with anything, but
yeah,
I did see some complaints.
Yeah, in a perfect world, games would be released with no problems.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't live in a perfect world. I think we know this. Especially these big games, they're going to have little issues. They're going to have problems. Sometimes you're going to have save issues. I think at this point in time, I feel like people who've played games know that going in. That's a risk they are willing to take if they're going to pay the money. They should not be terribly upset. From experience, you should know, okay, if I want the best experience of this game, I'm going to wait. But if I want to play it on day one, I might see a bug or two.
Right.
So yeah, does it suck that, people are sometimes guinea pigs? Sure. But I think we know that. And we, if we don't want that, we wait and we get the best experience later. But for me, I had no issues whatsoever. And I was playing on a Series X, highest fidelity. I wasn't doing like the highest frame rate. I was doing the highest fidelity, so pushing it graphically. And I had the best time. I had no frustrations.
Awesome.
I had no lost saves or anything.
Awesome.
It was great.
Last question. You mentioned you started a second playthrough. Was that for cleanup, or is that just for your own?
I did start a second playthrough. So the new game plus, plus allows you to take through all of your experience points, and then you can reallocate them as you want. You don't have all your force powers right from the start. You're still playing with your force powers doled out as the story releases them to you. Your force powers and mobility powers and those sorts of things, and the ability to go to different planets. All that stuff. It's the exact same story beats that you're hitting, and the same release schedule for those, if you will. But I wanted to see what was different. I wanted to see how that the new perks worked. I wanted to see how the new lightsaber party mode worked. What I didn't realize was how much story would feel different with, getting to the end of the game. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to ruin anything. But because this game's story is incredible, I feel it's, I haven't played a whole lot of games where the story...
You're making me want to play this.
I'm not a story guy, typically. Like, I play games for the experience. I play it for the action. I play it for how it makes me feel to be able to pull off these combos, to do this, to do that, that's what I like. I like the mechanics of a game. This game has me, caring about the story and just seeing things differently after getting to the end and playing back through. It's like a good book. When you read a good book and they just set up stuff, they've obviously done all their homework. They've got this great outline going. They're dropping clues. They're dropping like little threads. You go back, you read the book. You're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this was this person's motivation the whole time. And you get that. And they do a great job of like, oh, you'll see a character that you meet later in the game, and they're foreshadowed at the very beginning of the game, like on a poster somewhere. You're like, holy crap, that's the person that I was, so like they just do a really good job, and they took their time with it, and it really shows. And man, Respawn, love them.
Which that reminds me, is this game canon?
Is it canon? Well, I think at Disney they have a Cal Kestis lightsaber, so I'm pretty sure that this is canon. Yeah, and they're talking about Saw Gerrera. I think it is. Now, we're just going to have to wait for Mike Pitch to get back from vacation and tell me I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's canon.
I was thinking it was, because I'm pretty sure everything now has to be canon, but I didn't know if this was like an exception or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. That's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, our extensive research department is there to back us up.
Someone will add us.
But please, take me away from this mic. Someone else go. I don't want to gush any more than I've already gushed.
All right. Well, in that case, let's do a barrel roll. Michelle, what game do you want to talk about?
I think we're fresh out of time for the game showcase, actually. So we're just going to end this here. Elle, you have nothing to talk about, right? We're good? No, that was awesome. It's always good to hear exciting good game news. I have old good games to talk about, or game singular, and that's going to be Forza Horizon 4. So as Elle has mentioned lately, the Encore achievement recently became available again in Forza Horizon. And so a whole bunch of us have been working on doing the different dailies and such. And that's been great. So I had taken Forza out of my random to-do list pool for a while because it's a lot of achievements. And, I don't know if I want to deal with this anymore. But I re-added it and showed up this month. And pretty much everything I have available is in the Lego DLC. So for the first time, I've really sat down and focused on the Lego DLC. And for those of you who know, the Lego DLC really informed how Forza Horizon 5 is framed. So it's awesome. I'm having so much fun with it. What they've done in the Lego Speed Champions DLC is they introduced accolades, which they call Lego Brick Challenges in Forza Horizon 4. But they're split into various groupings. So there's discovery for going around the map and seeing different areas. There's smashables for smashing into certain collectibles. There's PR stunts. There are events. And it lets you kind of crystallize the game into these really little bite-sized chunks. But it also encourages you to actually try some of the 600 vehicles you have sitting in your in-game garage. So it's great the way that it actually makes you explore the game. And it also, I think, is the only portion of the game that actually requires you to play all the races. Because if you're like me, the last thing you want to do in Forza Horizon is a race. I want to do the PR stunts. I want to just explore. I want to smash billboards. But this DLC, because of the accolade system, the brick challenge system, you have to play all the races. And that was actually pretty fun too. So that's most of what I've been doing, is going through and just knocking out the Lego DLC. There are achievements attached to doing all of the different groupings of brick challenges. So some of these you kind of get stuck. So for example, events, you have to do every race, but as you unlock each brick challenge, you earn a certain number of Lego bricks, and that helps you build your home in the expansion. And you get achievements as your home gets built out further and further. But you can't do the last event until you've completed basically every other brick challenge. So it's going to be the last one you do. I went through and got the discovery ones, which once again was the smashable ones. The smashable was like, go find ladders to smash into, which was great because I actually spent time looking around the environment going, okay, where can I find ladders to smash into? You get all your achievements from those things. There are some achievements based on driving certain cars in certain races. You do unlock different Lego vehicles. There's also one annoying achievement, just to keep in mind if anyone is going through this DLC now. It requires you to hit certain collectibles. So there are 2 sets of alien collectibles. There's like these batteries and then plants. The batteries are only available at night, which is fine. The game cycles night and day pretty frequently. But then the plants are only available when it rains. So currently, as we were recording this, it's the summer season. It doesn't rain. But autumn is coming up. Snow in the winter season counts. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done in the next week or so, that part of it. But what all of this has done, I'm hoping now to... Oh, also the Lego DLC does have a story. So there are several story modes throughout Forza Horizon. The chapters are graded on a scale of 1 to 3 stars based on whatever metric is used for that chapter. And I think all of them have an achievement for finishing the entire story and for finishing the entire story with all available stars. And that is the case for the Lego DLC as well. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and what it's also done is made me excited for going back to Forza Horizon 5, because I played it a lot in the first week and a half, 2 weeks, and the online wasn't great early on, kind of what Elle was touching on with playing Jedi Survivors early, right? Like, people playing Forza Horizon 5 now, the Horizon events work and all that, but in the early days, it was convoys would break all the time. It just, the game was great, but that part of it wasn't great. So I'm excited to get back into it, and also, if anyone has any questions as they're going through it, the Forza channel in the Discord has been an amazing source of help. Every question I come up with, yeah, like there's one brick challenge to get to stuntman skills, which is to get an air skill and right after that get a near miss. And I tried it for like a good hour one night and I just couldn't figure it out, even with videos and stuff. And I asked in the Discord room, somebody posted a video I hadn't seen. And then within like 10 minutes of trying it, I managed to get it. So definitely check out that space too. They've been great. But yeah, I'm hoping to wrap up Forza Horizon 4 pretty soon and actually complete it and get everything done and then jump into 5 and try to get more done there.
Nice. Yeah, the Forza is also another game. It's like they just don't miss. They're always so good.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, you buried the lead there.
What's that?
Our that we got Encore. I mean, I've been talking about it for 3 weeks, and our listeners did not know that we actually got Encore.
That's right. That was after recording last week. That's right. Yes, yeah, it feels like much longer ago.
I know.
Yeah. Some people were saying
a month of craziness.
Yeah, and some people were saying in the Forza room about how it was taking a while to pop, but I think we discovered that had something to do with the order that they were, like, if they were doing the daily last, that seemed to take a little while to register, but it would pop. The two of us did the photo challenge last and it popped right away. But going for the daily challenges and all that, the Horizon events was fun too. Like, there's just so much to do in Forza Horizon that, and to that same point, that are so much more interesting and engaging than another race. But the racing itself is actually really well done too. And because you can modify so many of the difficulty things, you make it as easy or difficult as you'd like it to be. So it's but I mentioned, you had mentioned it, but I forgot already that happened after you recorded last week.
Yeah.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
We rock.
Well, in that case, Elle, get over here and tell us about your game.
Nice.
You didn't mention that other one you were going to tell us that you were going to Hadouken.
That Hadouken.
Sure you can.
Dragon Punch.
Oh, man.
A lot of them. I'm just throwing them out there as I think about them.
Thinking is bad. I really don't like thinking, which is why I've been asking for help in a game where you're supposed to think, which is the game leaving Game Pass on the 15th, Her Story. Now, I know you could just go to the walkthrough and type in all the words, but I wanted to figure out how to play and what you're supposed to do.
Why? Just type in a word.
Because stop it, Kenny. I mean, if it comes to that on the 15th, I'll do it. But in the meantime, so what I've been doing is typing in the words and trying to watch the videos and not just skipping them. And I guess something's supposed to click at some point of what's happening. But
yeah, do you have a notebook?
No.
Just have a piece of paper. Okay,
I have
here's how you do it. I don't want to take your time away.
I have a photogenic memory.
Doubt.
Okay, well, take your photogenic memory, and as you hear keywords pop up, something just interesting, just write it down, and then go through and cross it off yourself.
Right.
It's a great way to play the game.
That sounds good and all, but then what? Because the achievements are just finding all the words in the database. Is there you're not really solving anything, unless I'm misinterpreting.
Correct. No, you're right. You're not solving. There's no
who is
no
the
thing
whatever.
where you have to fill in the blank and say it was Colonel Mustard.
Yeah, exactly.
No, exactly. You're piecing for yourself. You're piecing the story together.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely learned stuff so far, but definitely bonkers. I gotta say, definitely bonkers. Yeah, so I was on an easy gamer score kick, but this one, the kind of last minute, they said it was leaving Game Pass. I'm like, all right, let me check this out. The same way I did Telling Lies. And it's basically the same thing, but this only has one person telling a story as opposed to several people. So in that regard, it's a little easier to wrap my head around, but not quite.
Just mash A.
Okay, fine.
Let's get it done. You're running out of time. I mean,
you're turning into the devil on my shoulder, Kenny. You're not the gamer score guru. You're Kenny.
I earned achievements through you. I don't want to watch. I don't want to just sit there and stare at a guide.
I will
encourage you all to do it for me.
I spent 2 hours and 47 minutes on her story.
Okay.
And some of that was just paused, walking away. But I treated it just like I treated the first game, which is actually the second game.
Yeah.
It's just, pick a term, watch a video. If a word sticks out, write down a word. And then,
because in Telling Lies, I remember
track down that word and cross them off.
Remember in Telling Lies, you clicked on a word on the screen, but I don't see that in this.
Well, her story was the first game in this series, so obviously it's not going to have all the quality of life, all the bells and whistles. Got it. Yeah. So that's why Telling Lies is a little bit more advanced. It was their second or second game, I think.
Then Immortality's
we're able to play. And Immortality's the third, the most recent one that we're able to play.
Because that one has 12 to 15 hour time estimate, and this is an hour.
Not sure.
If you just type in the words and not watch the videos.
Well, yeah. If you just want to start the video and stop the video, you can do that. Or you can just watch it. And,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, at least.
Yeah, I figured that's how you would play it. And that's how I played it. And I think that's what I wanted. And hopefully I think that you'll get what you want out of it if you just do that. You'll kind of piece it together. You'll figure it out.
What do most people want? 1,000 gamer score. Yeah. I wound up with some bad games on my RTTL this month. It's a Zidalon game called Ballatron, and there's a sequel, Ballatron Oceans. Yeah. It's a physics puzzle. Well, it's kind of like Angry Birds. You just take this ball and you shoot it and you try to hit the exit. And it's really simple and really easy.
That don't sound bad.
The game is so buggy and bad. The original Ballatron won't even load up on any of my 3 different Xboxes. The sequel loads up, but the music stops and starts, and it's just a buggy mess. Luckily, the achievements are easy, and that one has 2,000 gamer score. I promptly got that and deleted it. I said about that, the better. But the game I was going to talk about is called Discolored, and this was actually a lucky one. This showed up on my RTDL, but it was perfect for the True Achievements target this month for May, which is the primary color fall target, which is to earn achievements with red, yellow, blue, white, or black in the game or achievement name. And Discolored has all kinds of achievements names, in the achievement names. So a cheat for this one is to find any game that has remastered, because I guess red is at the end of that one. So you could use those.
That's cheating.
Yeah, it's cheating, I know, but if you click View My Valid Achievements, that's what the majority of them show up are. Or level cleared ends in red. So stuff like that you could do. But Discolored is a puzzle game, and you go around. It's a first-person game. You could pause at any time and get a hint, and it'll just be like, touch the suitcase, open the suitcase. And if you're really stuck, you could look at a hint. So that's nice. I like that. It was a little clunky though to play. So you open up your inventory and you click an item, but before you can use the item, you had to hit the button to close the inventory first, which was just confusing every time. So I didn't like that, but overall it was nice. So sometimes the game would turn into black and white and you had to find the color. It's one of those games that you can beat in like 20 to 30 minutes if you use a video guide, but that's no fun. It's about 2 hours otherwise. I wound up using the guide here and there. Cheetah has a good one, Cheetah Guides. And then after you beat the game, there's another achievement that's an Easter egg that you'll need a guide for. Something you have to stand there and watch a TV screen that you definitely wouldn't do on your own. So overall, I liked Discolored. It's a good game for the month. It's a $10 game. Wish it was $5 so I could recommend it more, but it's very interesting.
Why not recommend it at 10?
Because that's too much. Come on.
Oh.
Because people are going to beat in 15 minutes and then demand their money back, probably get a refund.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair.
If you look at the Discolored icon, to me it's a ripoff of Pink Floyd. The Wall. Do you see it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's definitely the copy my homework meme.
But at least
can you name a Pink Floyd song?
You could do this. You could do this.
Name any Pink Floyd song.
You could do this.
The Wall.
Okay, good job.
I don't like Pink Floyd. I got that one, and I had to think about that. What were you saying now? Sorry.
Money.
Talk about the icon. Oh, it's the other song. Yeah, I thought maybe.
Well, the first one I think it was Brick in the Wall, another Brick in the Wall. But now we're off on a tangent here. I was just going to say that TA actually spells this game properly, and this has no U's in it, so I was very excited for that. So on that alone, I would recommend it.
So it's
until
not
you do a
British
reach and stack.
Spend the $10 and not the pounds. Yeah, Godby Games made this game.
It's their only game too,
and that's the only one they made. I'm pretty sure this is one of those games that was made by one or two dudes. Just seems like one of those.
It kind of looks it,
but it's an artsy fartsy game. I think. Nate, have you done this one? Can't find it.
No, it's $10. Are you kidding me?
No, looks like you haven't. You would like this game. You like this type of stuff.
Yeah,
I'll probably get around to that at some point if it's
pretty
cheap
colors,
enough.
And that's all you need.
I do like colors. I also really like what you're saying, like when it gets all desaturated and then there's like you have to find the one color or whatever.
Yeah. There's cool stuff
like that style.
It's very
sounds cool,
clever. Yeah, there's not much I wish I could say more about it, but it's a puzzler and you have to figure stuff out on your own. So yeah, it took me about 2 hours. But yeah, if you follow the guide, it'll take you half hour or less.
Yeah, TA says it's a 0 to half hour.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Well, however people want to experience things, I guess.
All right,
that was Discolored.
Well, I feel like I have died of dysentery while going through that one. So
I love that you just have like a little notebook.
No, of course not. I'm just whipping these out.
I love it. The others you could have figured out, not that one. That's before, way before your time.
Hey, now I've played Oregon Trail.
I don't believe you.
You're just asking for an Oregon Trail update. I know.
Oh
well, I mean the one that Michelle's periodically playing is 50% off.
It is.
Oh, is it now?
It is.
So it's $30 now. Oh,
it's still kind of pricey for that game.
Yeah.
Just go to Game Pass. My goodness. Go to
Game
Pass.
Just had a free content update, which surprised me. Still has some broken achievements, I think, but you know.
Yeah, brokens.
Yeah, it does, unfortunately.
That's not good.
I did not know it got a content update.
But yeah, it got and new achievements.
Oh, that's cool.
Do I get to haggle more?
What'd you say?
Michelle, do I get to haggle more?
I mean, you're dead, so no.
Wow. So can you at least like trade my body in for like 400 pounds of food or something?
I mean,
make use of me.
I'll trade you for a box of bullets.
Box of bullets. Shh. Take 5 hours to shoot that rabbit and get 1 pound of meat.
And I have to get a second run going. Get some volunteers to run the trail.
All right. Nate, what games do you want to recommend?
Sure. Thanks for asking. I'm going to recommend Figment, Journey into the Mind. It's $4 down from $20. It's an action-adventure game. Looks pretty cool. I know that there's a sequel out. It's not on sale, so we're not going to talk about that. Next up, Shady Part of Me. I know I talked about this previously. I really should go back and finish that trademark. It's $4.50 down from $15. It's a puzzle platformer. It has to do with shadows, so there's a good chance I'm into it. Next up, The Inner World, $3 down from $15. It's an adventure point and click. And then the sequel to it, The Inner World, The Last Wind Monk, is $4 down from $20. It's also an adventure point and click, so there's a good price for those if there was an adventure contest going on somewhere. Next up, for the people with more money, Cal the Kangaroo, $15 down from $30. This is the lowest price it's ever been. It's a platformer, and the $8 DLC is not included. So if you want to get the full completion, expect to wait for a DLC sale or to just pay through the nose. Looks like a pretty solid platformer, kind of like the old school platformer styles, but with modern looks and hopefully gameplay. And finally, Gotham Knights. We've not talked about this. It's $23 down from $70. This is the lowest price ever. It'll probably be on sale for lower at the end of the year. So if you want to wait, like I am, thinking about waiting until it's 15 or maybe 20, pick it up at the end of the year. But if you have been waiting for a significant price drop, this is the one. It's a stealth open world beat 'em up. It's not like the other Arkham games. It's the first departure from that. So, if you're interested, not a bad price right now. Gotham Knights.
Meow.
All right. Well, I have a couple
Can you take a walk?
Games I will recommend then. I was really excited at first when I looked through the sales this week because I saw Dead Space was on sale and it was 30% off, and that sounded good until I saw that's still $49. And just got to remember that patience is going to pay out here. It's eventually going to hit some kind of service through which Game Pass will be, a good assist. So not going to recommend that at the moment, but just so you know, it is on sale. But I am going to recommend the 2 SteamWorld Dig games. I've played the first one. I've enjoyed the first one. It's a platformer Metroidvania game where the play, instead of going east to west, it goes mostly north to south. You dig down and you find gems and upgrades and whatnot. I know this has been mentioned in the past. Super solid game. The first game is $1.99 marked down from $10, and the second game is $5.99 marked down from $20. I have not played the second game at all, so This might be an opportunity to finally jump in on that because I really did. The first game took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting much, and I really enjoyed my time with it. It does have a couple of annoying achievements. There's a speed run achievement, for example, and I don't have those. I just enjoyed my one playthrough of the game. I don't know, Nate, if you have more to add with, huh?
Can I borrow $6?
Yeah, I never went back to play it or to finish it. But yeah, a lot of people said it was good. I think most people enjoy the second one even more. So if you like the first one, you're going to have a better time, I think, with the second one. It's a little more conventional, I believe.
Okay. What were you telling me?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I think he wanted you to pay $6.
I mean,
I think that's what it was.
This is no different than any other day.
Yeah.
I was going to gift you a game. It's going to be good. You'll dig it. Oh, God.
Well, why don't we move on to some games that we don't have to gift because they're already free with Games with Gold.
Go on.
If, as we are listening to this, we are still well in the range to get Star Wars Racer, which is available from May 1st through May 31st, but we are running out of time to pick up Peaky Blinders Mastermind, which is a stealth strategy and real-time game that lasts about 8 to 10 hours. Coming up after Peaky Blinders leaves the service, we have HOA, HOA, which is going to be available starting May 16th. It is an adventure game that clocks in at 2 to 3 hours, so this month's pickings are pretty good for those who want to seek some quick achievement fixes.
Then in Game Pass news, out now-ish, Time Travel's Hard, Weird West Definitive Edition for the Series X and S. It's an action RPG role-playing game. There's the Shadowrun Trilogy on PC, which is role-playing strategy and turn-based. And there's Fuga, Melodies of Steel 2, which is cloud console and PC. strategy, turn-based, and management. If you're chasing Game Pass leavings, as people do, because it's a thing, and people do that, May 15th, you have to consider these games before we leave Cloud Console PC. Simulation Management, 60 to 80 hours. No way you're doing that now. $20. Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, Anniversary Edition. Also a very long game. Hearts of Iron 4 for PC. Nobody's playing that. It's got 12 unobtainables. Her Story. Elle mentioned it earlier. That's a visual novel, half an hour to an hour. Took me 2.5. So, whatever. I'm not average. $10. My friend Pedro. It's a console PC stack, so you can play it twice, get twice the gamer score. However, it is skill-based. It takes 15 to 20 hours, for the normal human, for if, maybe Waka-esque. If you're not, whatever. It's too late. You're not going to do it. Next up, Boomerang Generation Special Edition Cloud Console PC. Simulation 1 to 2 hours. It's not a simulation, really. That's the kind that I consider simulation.
That's not.
You walk around with the camera, you take pictures of things and pick up film canisters.
Nate, should I play this game?
Vulgar talked about it.
Wait, so it's
Vulgar talked about it
paparazzi
last week. It's
simulation?
doable.
Yes.
It's paparazzi minus the pups. Although I think they might have dogs in some levels. There are birds. There was a...
I remember that that was mentioned last week that was kind of the closest corollary.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely doable. I just started. I'm 3 achievements deep. I'm going to finish it here in the next 5 days. I don't feel rushed. Boomerang Generation Special Edition. Hopefully we'll have news next week. Probably not. Probably 2 weeks out. But I do love that Game Pass news.
We'll probably have something next Wednesday.
Yep. Just in time to be podcasted.
Classic.
All right. Well, in that case, let's go to Brag Camp. Take away, Michelle.
In completions, the Aria Dragon has reached 500 completed games. Legless Hamster has crossed 700 completed games. Northern Lass with 850 completed games. Alicia is up to 1,200 completed games. Elroy OMJ up to 1,300 completed games. And Toadstyle Venom has just passed 1,400 completed games. Congratulations, everyone.
That's nuts. In streaks, Rhett Stack, currently on a 50-day achievement win streak. Freemhole with 100 days. Lego Head 1977 with 200. Inferno 118 with 250. CJH Carter with 300. Ems Fergie with 550. X Neo 21X, also known as Nerdy Neo, 650 days. Fluttery Chicken with 1,100 days. Prince It with 1,200. And for the dyslexic, Elroy OMJ with 2,100.
In Gamerscore, Boots Orion and Riser have both hit 500,000 Gamerscore.
Finally, Boots
has hit 600,000. Zwavil Dioxide, that's a gamer tag. It's hit 700,000. Hyzo has hit 800,000. Legless Hamsters hit 950,000. The Araya Dragon has hit the big 1 million Gamerscore. Congratulations on joining that club. Mighty Mango is at 1.7 million. Elroy OMJ is at 1.9 million. Mental Knight 5 has hit 2.4 million. And Redemption Denied has hit 3.8 million gamer score.
Wow. He'll be at 4 million probably next month.
Right.
You were almost a Jill sandwich. In leaderboards, Ace is in the top 100 of the Canada TA leaderboard. Bastion Reader is number 4 in USA completed games leaderboard for shoot 'em up games. Rutrek is in the top 500 of TA leaderboard for RPGs and top 50 gamer score for role playing plus turn based. Is there any other really, kind of role playing game besides a turn based game? Come on, that's all there is. GT30 Option Fan is in the top 200 of Georgia TA leaderboard for Xbox 360 shoot 'em ups. High Road Vatu, top 10 of the TA leaderboard for bowling. Oh man, that's pretty good. There's a couple Connect games that were real pain. There's like Brunswick Bowling, and I wonder if Connect Sports has bowling in it, does that get the bowling tag? I never remember if they do those things or not.
Sometimes.
Someone looked at it.
There's no achievement for that.
LA Noir is a puzzle game.
Oh, Connect. Oh, what's wrong with my brain? Sorry.
Well, it's
there's achievement for bowling.
I thought, yeah.
Those were hard.
I think Kinect sports games are just sports.
I heard Kinect. I thought Wii. I don't know why.
Oh, you do have some weird outliers though. Like I think Jackbox Party Pack 6 maybe randomly has like the dodgeball tag because of Zeeple Dome or something. There are some weird ones, but I'm pretty sure the Kinect sports games are just straight sports.
Okay.
But there were those gems. The Kinect sports gems, the pointers. Those would be individually classed, I think.
Yes. Got it. Yeah, because everyone got their Kinect to play darts. I mean, totally. Sir Polygon is in the top 10 of the Georgia T leaderboard for snowboarding. And I guess it was very specific that he's in position 11 in Georgia T leaderboard for skiing games. And in Brag Camp, I apparently have been very mean and forgot all of Ahizo's brags, and he let me know that he was very sad. So sorry, Ahizo. He did tag me that he completed Gems of War recently on its 502nd update, and Destiny 2. And Eternal Card Game was the second person to finish that one. So congrats on that. Vulgar Latin tagged me and said he has a 10-day streak in Bing. Oh, wait, it can't be that. Must be more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4? Maybe. Anyway, Umple Beast, here's a real brag. Real life brag time. I'm expecting my first child.
Aww.
Congrats, Umple Beast.
Congrats.
Good job.
I mean, normally I would say that's all we need is one more Floridian, but oh wait, I said it. Damn. Congrats, dude. You're a good guy. I'm sure you'll be a great daddy. Congrats, everybody.
All right. Well, I guess that will do it for us for level 250. Thank you all for listening and keeping this going for this long. Kind of wild we've been at it for this long. As always, you can find us in all the different places and our socials. It's all in the show notes. We have a nice little doc with all the links, so it's nice and easy to get to them all. Like I mentioned before, if you got any of your favorite quotes, or you just want to chat about the show in general, or if you're a patron and you want to recommend a topic for us or a question of the week, be sure to do so in the patron VIP channel. Greatly appreciate all of our patrons. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. But with that, class is dismissed. See y'all next week. Praise the sun.
Bye. Praise the sun. Eat that cheese wheel. We'll talk about it next week.
Hello and welcome back to NeverEnding Stories, a segment where I ask patrons and staff members to go back in time, back to the very back of their backlogs, and finish the stories and campaigns of those long forgotten games. Joining me this week in, I think, maybe his podcast debut is, and I'm going to try and get this right, Arutrek.
Oh, so close, but so infinitely wrong as well.
Arutek
is the...
Aruteak.
Yes, it's the way I go about it. I can't tell you if it's correct or not because it's not a real word.
I felt like adding a kind of quasi-foreign accent on top of it could mask the fact that I was mispronouncing it. Arutek.
We're both English, so any kind of false accent goes out the window straight away. Yeah, Arutek is the proper pronunciation. I do accept Big Ells as well. That's I guess, an acceptable compromise.
What, is that creature backwards?
I believe it's Arutek.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. I think embellishments are okay, are acceptable. I think actually trying to pronounce it and getting it wrong is where you kind of trip up.
Yeah, but it's funnier that way as well.
Yeah, if you're going to get it wrong, do it in style.
Absolutely. But yeah, you're right. This is my podcasting debut.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We are here to talk about a game that you started way, 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 way back in 2007. You're actually one of the people who have the oldest start dates in this contest. I didn't realize you were quite so of an elder in the Xbox community.
Yeah, I got the Xbox on release eventually after tracking down someone that would thankfully sell it to me secondhand for not an inflated price, because we didn't do that back in 2006 quite as badly.
So what game is it we are discussing?
We are talking about the delightful Bionicle Heroes.
Bionicle.
Yes.
Bionicle. I've just had a thought. Is Bionicle a word? Bionic, surely.
Bionic is a word. Bionicle, no idea. It's a Lego game, but it's, I think, one of their big...
No. It's not Lego Bionicle Heroes.
It's not Lego Bionicle Heroes, but Bionicle is a Lego franchise. Anyone with young kids will inevitably have heard of it.
Now, that's interesting. Does it predate Ninjago? Because Ninjago is like the big Lego franchise that I'm aware of. That isn't obviously a tie-in.
That is an excellent question. I've never looked up. I know Ninjago's bigger now.
Oh yeah, my kids love Ninjago.
Ninjago started 2011 as a TV show. So yeah, Bionicle Heroes predates it.
It's like the original attempt at doing their own thing,
yes,
I guess.
Yeah, sort of robotic Lego stuff. It's not mech, it's just Lego.
It is a Traveller's Tales game, which all the other Lego games are as well.
Yes.
But it's not a tie-in game, and it predates all of those tie-in games.
Yes.
And I'm assuming it's a completely different kind of game, or is it the same?
It's a very, very different style of game. So unlike your, I guess a platformers, action-adventure style, Bionicle Heroes is actually a third-person shooter.
Wow.
And not a very good one.
Does it lean into the Lego element of it, or could it be just a generic third-person shooter? Is there blocks that fall to pieces, and do you build stuff?
Yeah, it's got your standard, you can shoot stuff, it blows up, you get studs. You can use, like from the Star Wars things, it'd be, using the Force to build objects. They don't, go in and use the manual hand to build up. They'll use basically the Force to build stuff up. But that's not really a thing for most of the game. Most of it is just go into an area, shoot loads of stuff, go through a couple of corridors, shoot more stuff, and that's a level.
Now, this game released in 2006, so it was very much in the early days of the...
It released on my birthday, 24th of November.
Wow. Did you get it for your birthday?
Absolutely not.
You started it in June 2007, so not that far off release, about 6-7 months later.
Yeah.
What made you decide you wanted to pick up Bionicle Heroes?
It was just one that came, because at the time I think, do you remember Love Film? Sort of the GameFly of the time.
I used to love films, but I never loved film games.
Yeah, so I would have got it through that, I believe. It was just what came, and that was it.
Okay, and then you actually put a decent amount of time into the game. Looks like you did about half the achievements in about a few weeks period, June, July 2007.
Yeah.
You rattled through. I don't know how far into the story that took you, but it's about 50% of the completion.
Yeah, it's about half of the story.
Okay, so you got about halfway, and then you put it down.
Yep.
You came back in January of 2009 and got 2 more achievements.
Can't explain that. No idea why I went back to it, but it's the thing that happened.
And then you said, no, I'm out of this game for the next 14 years when I came along and said, hey, this game you started a long, long time ago, just finish it off. And you did just that.
Alrighty then. Yes, sir, Mr. Chewie.
24th of Feb, you finished the story, and then because you were enjoying it so much,
absolutely,
you wrapped it up and got that completion on the 27th as well.
Yes.
So, what happened between 2007 and this year that made you put it down after halfway getting through it?
I don't think I could accurately describe just how bad the game is. When it came out, there wasn't as much as we have, now. So it was a lot easier to stick with it then compared to now. But it was just so unfathomably awful that I've got this on rental. I don't need it. In the post box it goes off back to Love Film. See you somewhere down the road.
You noped out on it, basically.
Absolutely noped out. And
I'm guessing, were you much of a completionist or an achievement hunter in those days, early on?
Yeah, early on when the 360 was very early in its days, I would get your Fight Nights, your Kung Fu Panda. I would get those style of games, and I'd run through them and send them back because you're only paying, what was it, £7-8 a month, and you could get through 5 or 6 games at the time. And back then I was fully into easy games, get them done. But I think this was possibly the start of the end for that. I haven't accurately gone through my collection and seen what else I played around that day, but I can probably say this was bordering on the maybe I don't want to play all of the easy games.
Yeah, I'm not actually enjoying this anymore.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, and I can see that's translated because you have rated the game, tying into my Master Rater segment.
Yeah.
Shameless plug for that. You gave the game a glowing 1.5 stars.
Yes, I did.
So I'm assuming that basically says this is not a good game. And actually, it does tie up to the kind of general consensus of the game, it looks like. TA, the community on TA, gives it a 2.31.
That's being incredibly generous of the TA community. I'll be honest, 1 star of that rating is for probably 75 to 80% of the achievement list. Again, I can't stress, this is a bad game. The achievement list is actually remarkably decent. Tying into the, 1 list, 2 list, bad list, good list. It's got an achievement for every level, which is good because it's constant progress. Yeah. Achievements for defeating certain types of enemies and killing enemies with certain characters. And that'll, take you through your entire first playthrough.
Wait, first playthrough?
Oh, yeah. Standard Lego game. You can't do everything on the first playthrough. You've got to complete the final boss before you go back and do every single level all over again. Yeah, there are 24 levels.
Oof.
So replaying them all. Actually, there's 25 levels, but you don't have to replay the last one because that's just a boss fight. There's 24 levels. You have to do all of them twice.
Wow. Is that because you have to collect something or get a specific rating, or is it a difficulty thing, or is it literally just do it again?
It's standard Lego collectibles. You go through it once with your story characters, and then you go through it again, but this time you have access to the final sort of unlockable character, and you can unlock extra stuff in each level, extra areas and what have you, to get the last of the collectibles. It's not mini kits in this, it's just gold and silver canisters, and there's 5 silver, 4 gold in every level. But by the time you've done it twice, you'll get, I guess, the harder achievement, which is getting 5 million Lego pieces. That's sort of the grindy one, but you're playing through the game twice, so you're going to get it from that anyway.
Okay, so I was about to ask about that because it has the standard, collect a load of Lego bits achievement, but you don't have to do much extra grinding to get that, because 5 million is not a small number.
It's not, but with every level you can probably get anywhere between 80 to 120,000, and because of the way the game works, you have to effectively farm up studs in the level anyway.
Sounds like maybe not fun, but are you at least glad that it's done with now? Are you satisfied with your completion?
I am so glad that it's done.
Would you have come back to it though if it hadn't been for this?
I think I would have done eventually. I have a spreadsheet of all my game collection split up into Xbox One games and Xbox 360 games. And so every month I'll run a random function from each of them saying, pick a game from the Xbox One, pick a game from the Xbox 360.
Oh, okay, interesting. So like a pick for me randomizer thing.
And it just so happens that February brought up Bionicle Heroes. It still took me till the 23rd to get round of it because of how much I was dreading it.
Did you have to purchase the disc? Because if you've love filmed it, I'm assuming you didn't have a copy of it available to you. Did you have to go and seek it out?
Yeah, I did have to go, and I actually bought it 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, okay. Because you knew it was in the collection, it was unfinished, and you eventually would need to go back to it.
At some point I knew I was going to go back to it.
I'd normally ask about the story as well. So we're talking about obviously Lego. Most of their games are movie tie-in games, so obviously there's going to be a strong connection to a film or a franchise.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with Bionicle Heroes. Is there a kind of a strong narrative, a strong story throughout this, or is it mostly just an excuse to smash bricks?
It's really hard to say because, like you, I don't have the connection to Bionicle either. But there's a cutscene before every level which explains, what's going on. But unfortunately, that usually involves character walking on screen, picking up a tail end of a fish out of the ground, sticking it in another Bionicle's mouth, and that's your boss for the level. And that's as much expose as they give for that level. And
okay.
And again, it's that because I started it so long ago, I don't remember the intro cutscene. I'm sure there is one, but because it's your standard 2006 Lego affair, there's no voicing or what have you, which works fine for any of the movie tie-ins because if you've seen the movie, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But with this, nah.
The voice, I like the voice acting ones, but I actually quite like the early ones because they were a little bit more slapstick style.
Yeah.
And it was mostly kind of like jokes and riffs and like parodies of the classic scenes in the movies, which I thought were quite fun. But I guess if you have no connection to the franchise, and the franchise itself isn't particularly known for its strong narrative, then that's just kind of redundant, isn't it? It's not really going to give you much.
Yeah, I have absolutely zero idea what is happening in the game. It's just, go here, shoot them. Okay, and I'll go here, shoot them. That's my knowledge of the game.
Brilliant. Well, it's done. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You never even have to think about Bionicle Heroes, whatever they are. Bionicles.
Thank God for that. It's a bad game. If you don't have the connection to Bionicle and what have you, just unless you're really dedicated to, achievement hunting. I'm looking at it here. Big Ell is on, I think he's missing one achievement in it, which is honestly not surprising, actually. No, it's not, is it?
Yeah, he's missing the 100% completion achievement, so presumably he's missing some of those kits or whatever, those collectibles that you need to go and get. But he's got the 5 million, so he's grinded out the studs.
Yeah, he's got enough money to afford everything from the shop. He's got everything. He's even got probably what I'd say is actually one of the harder achievements because it's for defeating 500 of a rare spawning, tough to beat enemy. But for some reason, he just hasn't gone through and done that last little bit.
Yeah, and it's not marked as buggy or anything. So I'm just scanning through the solutions for the achievement to see if there's a comment by Big Ell to say, it didn't work for me, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, we're calling him out here, but I haven't checked. Is it buggy? Has he complained about it? But no, it's just.
No, I can't say anything. Well, we'll find out.
You buy everything from the shop. You get all the collectibles and all the levels. That's it.
Yeah, Al, finish the game already. God, hasn't it sounded so fun already?
Yeah, I'm sure I'm selling it to everyone that's listening.
Cool. Okay, so you've got 9 other games on your list. You haven't asked me to skip any, I don't think, unless I've forgotten to do that.
Not as of yet.
No, and it's quite a varied list. Yours is quite a varied list compared to some other people's. Is there anything on there that you're thinking you would prioritize and say, you know what, I think I would go back to that?
See, I was looking earlier. There are 3 that I think, if I went, yep, I'm going to do it, I could get certainly the story of it done this year without question, probably in the next couple of months. So that would be Far Cry Instincts Predator.
Mm-hmm.
The second one would be Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because yes, there's like speedrun achievements in it, but because you can save and reload, I did the first one last year, and it was very, very painless. So doing the second one should be no hassle whatsoever.
Yeah, so I have all of those, Sonic's 1 to 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, and they're just constantly on that. Oh, I should probably do that, and I know I can save scum it, and even just completing the story shouldn't be that hard. And I just always, like, I think I've replayed at least 2 of them, like the first few levels, at least 10 times, and then just not gone any further with it. I don't know what's stopping me on that, because they're not long, they're not super hard.
No.
And you can save scum them. So I don't know. If you do it, I'll do it.
Okay, we'll make that bet. And the third one is probably going to be my downfall again, and you'd probably get me on here to talk about yet another completely terrible game, would be Bullet Witch.
Bullet Witch. I'm not familiar with Bullet Witch, I don't think.
It's another one where, it's got an achievement for completing all stages and completing each difficulty. Again, they don't stack. So I think, granted, all stages clear is all you're looking for this, which is finish every stage on easy, I guess. But yeah, you have to do everything on all difficulties. So that'd be the bit I don't look forward to. Certainly now that I'm more of a completionist.
Yeah, but if you weren't going to do it anyway, you'll at least get a lot closer to the completion than you were before if you just do the story. And it sounds like it'll be worth it for this 2.65 rated game, Bullet Witch. Well, Aruterk.
That's what we'll go with for now.
It was a pleasure having you on. It was great to hear about your not so great experience playing Bionicle Heroes. Thank you
very much for having me on.
Taking me up on the offer to finish the story. And I look forward to hearing more about any of your other NeverEnding Stories.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
Well, welcome everyone to Chivo Side Chats, where some gaming buddies get together, catch up, and talk about a few Chivos. Today, 2 AH101 founders who once shared nachos together in the nation's capital reflect on episode 250 of the podcast by each bringing not one, but 2 50-point Chivos to talk about. Thus, 2 50s. See what we did there? Yeah. So hopefully the rest of our visit will be as clever. I'm joined today by Foof. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Oh, I'm Elroy, by the way. I think I forgot to say that, but there you go.
I think you did forget that, but I'm sure everyone knows at this point.
Yeah. The accent might have thrown them in that direction. So, man, so we were just catching up earlier and talking about that wonderful godforsaken contest, and got that out of the way, so no one has to hear that.
You and all of your G-Task people are insane. I say it all the time, and I know people hear me say it all the time. But every time you guys talk about like what you're doing in that and how much you're scoring, I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
Well, good on all you. I ain't got that kind of dedication.
You don't even have the dedication to follow it.
No.
Much less participate. That's crazy. Yeah. So,
I always forget where to find it on TA. I always got to search.
Shoot. Yeah. So, so what are you working on instead of doing that stupid contest that we all do for some reason?
Well, as of recently, it's been cleaning up Halo Infinite, at least the co-op stuff.
Okay.
And then playing some Vampire Survivors, got that cleaned up. And then...
By cleaned up, you mean like getting the completion there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got the completion in Vampire Survivors. Amazing game.
Okay. I really don't even know what that is. It's
man.
See, we're speaking 2 different languages. See, you play all these real games, and then I'm playing all these little crap games. See.
This is also why I love recording with you. I mean, I love you. You're my boy. But man, when it comes to achievements, And actually, hold up. When it comes to gaming, you and I are on just the complete opposite ends of the spectrum, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors has been like one of the biggest games here recently. It's on Game Pass. Everyone's been playing it. And you don't even know what it is.
No, I've never even heard of it. That's crazy. All right. Well, so I guess I'll look. That's my homework assignment for today, is look up what is this vampire tomfoolery that everyone's apparently playing that I'm not.
Well,
I guess
if it helps, that's got a way lower TAD than I thought it would be. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. That's probably why it's not on my radar. So, there you go. Yeah, I had that.
Being on Game Pass, I assumed it was going to have a higher TAD, but nope.
No.
But it has 184 achievements, so they're all kind of like low values. That's probably why it's not a whole lot of TAD.
I mean, you could play 19 baby games and get 190 achievements, see? And there you go.
Ugh. I'm gonna play the baby games.
Drop $20 and get 19 little $1 games and be done with it. So anyway,
awful.
So anyway, the podcast is up to 250 episodes now. That seems like that escalated quickly.
That's wild. That's been almost 5 years. 5 years and a few months.
That's true. I'm sure we'll do a nice little 5-year or something. So we're just kind of cheating here and doing a little something on the front end. This was your idea. Yeah, this was your idea. You said, "Hey, does anybody want to do anything for 250?" And then the sound of crickets was palpable. So I thought I'd hit you up and say, "Oh, well, hey, you know me. I'm always up for something. Let's do something." So here you go. This is the best we came up with. I think that's pretty good, though.
Hey, this was your brainchild. When you told me to get 250 point achievements, I'm like, I like it. Let's do it.
You can do that. Very loose format. We hadn't even started yet. So, I mean, I think it's going really well so far.
This is what happens when you put a microphone in front of friends. They're just going to ramble.
It's true. Oh, and speaking of which, I think you're alluding to this, and if you're saying what I think you're saying, I'm very excited here. Does this mean you're coming to Achievement Fest?
I'm not for sure yet.
I mean, you said last year. I really
want to. I am trying to. I really, really want to come to Achievement Fest.
What do we got to do to make this happen?
It's more of just schedule, make sure I have a sitter for Oliver. I need to make sure that Brooke, because if I come, Brooke's also going to want to come.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously.
So I got to make sure that I have time off, she has time off and whatnot, because there's other things I have that unfortunately have to take priority over Achievement Fest that I need to make sure I have time for. So, but I do really want to come.
Yeah. Well, I must say that Triple Triads has talked me into it, and so I've already signed up for myself, so I'll be there. And I was kind of hoping, right? I did. Last year was my first year. It was a lot of fun. Brer Rocker was there. We shared a room, and pretty much we sat next to each other the entire time working on the foreign console. I forget. It was I think it was a European 360. And I didn't have one of those. I have a Japanese one. I think Brer Rocker was working on the Japanese one, and I was working on the European one. So, it's a good chance to play a lot of stuff you don't have access to, So it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time, and you get to see everybody that you talk to over the old microphone, and you know.
That's funny because, like, if I were to go, I feel like I would just spend most of my time just hanging out with all my internet friends that I'd never get to see.
Yeah, some people do that. A lot of people do that. People just float around like, hey, what are you doing? No, last year it was kind of weird because last year you would have thought that there was it was a den of vipers because anytime you walked through there, all you heard was like everywhere you went, and you're like, what the hell? And it was during the Power Wash revolution, and I
still don't get that game.
Oh my god! Everybody went to Achievement Fest to play stupid Power Wash. It was a thing. It was
you don't
the game.
Like it?
I mean, it was all right. I mean, that's not why I would go to Achievement Fest to play that, but I'm there to kind of play stuff that I can't play anywhere else. But others just sit next to others and wash things. So
I don't get the love for that game. I have already said on the podcast I don't like that game. I find it wildly tedious.
There's some DLC though.
If I got to travel all the way to Indiana, I am not playing Power Wash Sim.
Man. Well, maybe we can maybe we can just do lawn mowing sim and see if that catches on. I guess it's not new though, so or maybe there'll be something else like car wash sim or something. Who knows? That's I mean, this is right down your alley.
For everything.
I know, and you're a sim guy.
Ridiculous. I love sim games, and Power Wash didn't do it for me. But there is a simulator game for everything nowadays.
Yeah. Did you ever drive the bus one? Remember their bus one?
I did.
Okay.
I think good. I reviewed that a while ago because I'm pretty sure we got a code for it. I'm pretty sure I did a review for that.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's been so long ago. I can't remember now. Bus Simulator wasn't bad.
Okay. Well, we could do a podcast segment simulator and talk about two 50-point achievements here.
That sounds great.
All right.
We've been rambling for a bit now.
Yeah. Let's jump right into it there. Would you like to go first or shall I?
This is your baby. Why don't you go first?
All right. I like it. All right. My first 50-point achievement that I brought to the 250 to 50-point achievement segment thing is disclaimer, I kind of went with some nostalgia. I went with some life nostalgia, and then I went with some podcast nostalgia. So I went with nostalgia because that's kind of the theme here, right? So my first one is, are you smarter than a bartender? ? And you get that for winning a round of video game trivia. And it's, of course, 50 gamer score. And it comes to us from a game that I recently fell in love with, which is called King of the Arcade.
Huh.
All right. Have you even heard of this game?
I have not.
Okay. I'm not surprised because it's,
Oh, this is new.
Yeah, I mean, what should I say? Should I say, oh yeah, everyone's playing it? It's on Game Pass. No, it's not on Game Pass, but it's I don't know what some vampire. What it doesn't have vampires in it or whatever that one was about. But yes, it is. I'm typing in. How new is it? I don't even know how new this game is. I forgot to look that up.
I just had it. What was it?
Oh,
April 12th.
Yeah, that's pretty newish. So anyhow, this game has. It's still relatively new, and it's amazing. I gave it 5 stars. I don't just hand out those 5 stars. It has to touch me, like in a special way. And so this is that type of game. And so here's the premise, all right? So you have this guy who was an amazing video game player back in his day, and it starts off, and he's like, my life, it peaked at 12 years old. It's kind of like
that's
him.
Bad.
Yeah, his life peaked at 12 years old, and he's like shows him like winning some gaming contest, and then it fades out, and then it's like 28 years later. So now he's like 40 years old, and so it's like this deadbeat gaming dude. Yeah, it's like kind of sad, where like he. I guess he has no other skills or something, so he wants to work in an arcade, and so he gets a job at the arcade, and then it comes out who he is, and then he has to like prove himself, and he's like, I'm not about that life anymore, and he just like keeps trying to get away from it, and then so he proves himself, and then he does such a good job that the evil overlords that are taking over all the arcades like send their goon squad out to the arcade, and the goon squad consists of like somebody that is a master in each genre. So for example, there's a racing champion, a third person champion, a beat 'em up champion, a first person shooter champion, etc., 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 and there's like 7 or 8 of them. It's kind of like the Scott Pilgrim defeat the X's type thing, right?
Right.
So it's kind of, same kind of thing going on here. So each one of those individuals like post up at like the machine that reflects that type of game. Okay. So you have to go and defeat each one in each one of the games, and they're all just retro as hell. Like the whole thing's retro. And so I just want to throw some advice to the dude. If he didn't want to get dragged back into that life, maybe don't go work at an arcade. I'm just saying, if you're trying to be sober, don't go work at a bar, or something like that. But
right.
Yeah, but anyway, that it does help the storyline. But anyway, in the appearance of the game, it's like to me, it kind of reminded me of a Video Kid, I guess. That kind of blocky animation. And then also it reminded me of, have you ever seen the video for Money for Nothing? It's an old Dire Straits song that came out when you didn't exist and I was young. And but anyway, it was like in the early days of computer animation. It's real blocky. Well, that's what it kind of looks like. Maybe Video Kid's the better reference point for you, but that's your homework, is to go look up that video and you can see what the 80s were all about. But yeah, that Money for Nothing, Dire Straits, and then get the unedited version. And but anyway, and then also there was some old school arcade vibes, major old school arcade vibes. And I was going to ask you a couple questions, like, did you miss like the arcade days? Was that pretty much done by the time that you were at the age of the target audience of an arcade?
Yes and no. So I've been to an arcade, but like,
oh, that's a start. Okay.
But it's only been like once or twice, and really the closest things that I have to a memory of like an arcade is more like a Chuck E. Cheese, not like.
No, that was always a valid option. Yeah, that's kind of like an arcade, but
yeah, they're more like games for tickets, but not like I went to an arcade to play like Dragon's Lair or Pac-Man.
I remember. Oh yeah, those are some good ones.
It was always the kind of thing if like my dad's was like, well, why am I going to go to an arcade so you can spend money on these games when you have 100 at home?
Right.
Which, I mean, fair point.
Well, and see, before there was a time when the arcade had a lot more to offer than what you could have at home. See, and that was back when I was in the prime age and demographics of the arcade goer. See, so do you ever hear about like Aladdin's Castle? Does that ring a bell to you?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, Aladdin's Castle was a chain of arcades. It was in malls, basically. So any mall that was worth going to would have an Aladdin's Castle in it, and it was just full of games. Like they had some ticket stuff in there too, but it was kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese's without the creepy animatronics and without the crappy food. It was like pure gaming kind of a thing. And so
right
when my fond experience, see, this is what you missed out on, was like I would ride my bike after school. So I get home after school and I'd ride my bike up to the mall and just park my bike out there, and then I'd go inside Aladdin's Castle. And the game of choice back then was no other than Street Fighter 2. See, this was a little later on. This was, later days of arcades. And, it pretty much started dissipating in the, mid-90s, I would say. Yeah. That's when they started going away, when the gaming consoles were catching up to it, And so Street Fighter 2 was kind of my last hurrah when I was a teenager. And so, see, you missed like all the cool little nuances of the arcade. See, like if you are next up to play, let's say there's like 6 of you ready to play the same game. There's like a group of people that want to play the game, but there's also people watching. Do you know how to signify to the next person that it's your turn next? So
you put your quarter on the machine.
There you go. Okay, there's hope for you.
I do know that. I have never done that personally, but I've heard like you
I'm so
or Nate
excited
or
that you know
or
that.
like other podcasts or people from other podcasts that I listen to talk about that, where it'll be like a string of like 10 quarters up there.
Yes, and everybody seemed to somehow know which quarter was theirs. I don't know.
I always wondered that. I'm like, how do you guys tell this apart?
You just knew. I don't know. And so, and man, it was so much fun. Like, I just go there and play for hours, and then I knew my parents were about to get home, so I'd drive my bike home, and nobody was worried about, pedos or anything like that. And we just all had a great old time at the arcade. I mean, it was craziness. So, yeah. Anyway, and then my other question for you, I just wanted to see your arcade knowledge. Have you ever played a tabletop cabinet?
Tabletop cabinet?
Yep.
What do you mean by that?
So you have these cabinets, like arcade cabinets, like the standing ones. Have you ever played the tabletop one where you sit at it and then your opponent sits across the table from you and you're looking down on the game?
Oh, yeah, once or twice. I had...
I was just curious if you even knew what those were.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. There was one that was like a Mortal Kombat that I played. I think another one was like...
Mortal Kombat like that? That's crazy. I've never seen that.
There was another one. I forget what it was. Yeah, I haven't seen many.
Yeah, like back in the day, I used to go eat at some Mexican food place, and they had Crystal Castles, which is an old '80s arcade.
Never
game.
heard of it.
Yeah, and it was a cabinet like that, and so my brother, he would sit across, or vice versa, whoever was playing it, and you'd have to watch it upside down because it was weird to sit on the same side as the person playing it, so you would sit across and then you just watch it upside down. That's just the way you were. And then it was like a 2-player game, like usually it would be top down. Like there was a real cool demolition derby type game where you like wreck each other's cars, but it was like top down view. But that one had multiple stations on it. And I think that one had like at least 4 stations on it. But anyway, I just wanted to see if you knew anything about tabletop game. But they're in this game, King of the Arcade. They depict one of those in there. It's called Goal, and much like all the games that they depict in this, they all have like a modern day version of it. So for example, Goal is basically Pong. So and then they have one called Chatterman, which is basically a Pac-Man clone, and then they have one called High Speed Race, which is Daytona. Yeah, it's that one. and they have Tire King, that's Donkey Kong. You have to play that one. That's like the main stage. And they have, but basically this game in itself, not only is it amazing, but if you just want to have like a collection of cool retro ripoff games, this game actually has about 40 games in it that you can play that are very similar to other games. So, right. And so like there's a game like Frogger, there's a game like Street Fighter. Oh, I love the Street Fighter emulator one. And so instead of Street Fighter, you got, guess what it's called? It's good. It's good. Come on.
Road Fighter?
Come on. Oh, you're close. It's called Sidewalk Fighter. So
that's good.
Yeah, the fight takes place on a sidewalk. So I mean, it's accurate. And then they got like a Centipede clone, an Asteroids clone, Mario Brothers, like the original Mario Brothers, not like none of the super crap, like the original Mario Brothers, which is like a really awesome co-op game. Actually, it holds up.
I know that.
Yeah, you know that one.
That's one of the few NES games I've played.
Okay, there you go. Let's see.
I was watching some of the clips and reading the achievements for this. This actually looks like a pretty cool game.
Yeah, it was like one of the best co-op games that held up for several years. Like trying to think of another one. I guess probably
the only of the arcade.
Oh no, okay. I thought you meant Mario Brothers. Yeah, I was going to say if you like Mario Brothers and you have like a NES emulator, another one you should try is Ice Climbers. That's a really good one too. That was probably my favorite co-op NES game back in the day. But do you know what Space Harrier is?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, they got a really cool version of that. It's called Space Ravager, but I don't think... See, I didn't think Space Harrier was mainstream enough for people to really know it. It's kind of like you're flying around. It's kind of a unique game. It's kind of like a, I don't know, third-person...
I saw a clip of Space Ravager.
Okay.
Where you're all like on a hoverboard shooting trees.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of what Space Harrier is like. But yeah, that's a tough game though. And then they have a clone of Burger Time, where you like have to make burgers and stuff. And there's a Time Crisis type.
I love Time Crisis.
Oh God, man! If you like that game,
I love it.
That's the hardest challenge in this game is beating the score that you have to beat on that one.
Oh yeah,
I see
a clip of it now.
Yeah, I kept shooting people, or I don't know exactly what I was doing wrong, but I had most of the challenges. They're not really that challenging. I mean, it'll make you feel like you're really good at video games by playing this, and because the challenges are so easy. But that was the only one that I actually had to do. Like, I think I played it like 4 times or maybe 5 times. I don't know, which is not much, but it took me several tries to get the score I need on that. All the other ones I got first try. I was going to be really insulted if I didn't get the beat 'em up on the first try. So I did get that one. After
so you of all people need to be able to get that first try.
Yeah, I was going. If I didn't, I wouldn't have told a soul. See, and but yeah, that one was pretty easy. It was just a bunch of Willie Nelson clones. Like I don't know if they were meant for the character that you were beating up constantly to be Willie Nelson or not, but that's the vibes I got from it. But yeah. But and then the other best part about this game is like after you defeat each one of these champions is you chastise them. And so the two I remember the most are you chastised some dog who plays, like the little basketball game that's at every, arcade or Chuck E. Cheese or anything like that, where you're shooting the ball over and over. There's a dog that you have to compete against in that. And so when you beat the dog, you like shame the dog for losing to you. and then the other one, of course, is a millennial. And so I forget exactly what he says, something like, "Be gone, you millennial." And like, it's a real dramatic end scene. It's my favorite part of it is when you send them away, I guess is the best way to put it. But
nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. This game just has a lot in it, and just all kinds of craziness. I mean, I could talk about this game for a long time, but it's got even some more modern stuff like Flappy Bird. It's got an emulator of that in there. It's got and then his cell phone has that, and it also has like old school. I don't know. You probably never experienced this, back in the day. We used to have these Razor phones, or even before that.
I know about that.
Nokia phones, and you go to the game section, and all you have is. Do you know what games you had?
Snake.
Yep, that's one of them. And the other one? Oh, go on.
Tetris.
No, that's too fancy.
I was going to say Snake's the only one I ever remember playing on my parents' cell phone.
Yeah, every cell phone had Snake, and they had Brickbuster or Breakout or some, so some version of that. So
I do remember playing that now.
Yeah, but those two are on his phone, so you have those as well. And then they have like, the normal stuff like air hockey, whack-a-mole, basketball, punching bag machine, dance machine, stuff like that. So, and there's actually an Easter egg in the game for there's the guy that does like walkthroughs, Chivo guides, I think is it, where he's like, "What up, guys? This is Chivo Guides." I don't know if you've ever heard a walkthrough for that.
No, I haven't.
I'm sure I butchered it, but anyway, there's a shout out to it. Like there's like a magazine that has a cheat code in it, and when you look at it, it's I think it says in the background like, "What up, guys?" And then it's like Chivo Guides. I don't know. Anyway, it's a shout out to the dude. So props to him. He got
that's pretty cool.
Shout out there. So, but as far as like the actual achievement is concerned, you get it for answering the bartender's questions. I think you have to answer 4 questions correctly, and then you get the achievement, and then you dance with her, and there's a very warm embrace that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And then she gives you like 1 million of her crypto she's launching, and you can use that however you want. But there's a couple questions in there that I only missed one question, and I felt bad about it. So I have a list of some of the questions. I can see if you know some of these answers off the top of your head.
Well, I wouldn't want to cheat, but I've actually already read that. I actually have the list in front of me. Because when you talked about that achievement, I'm like, let me pull it up.
Yeah. How many of them did you know?
I would have got the Tomb Raider one, the Doom one, Pac-Man one, Nintendo, Xbox, Halo, and that's it. I wouldn't have known the Mega Man one. Wouldn't have known Pac-Man.
Yeah,
the Pac-Man 240 dots.
Yeah, like, well, see, on the screen you get like multiple choice. I got that one right, but I was not confident at all. I was like, well, they probably couldn't fit. I forget. It's like 120, 240, 360 or something. I was like, well, they probably can't fit 360 dots on there, and 120 doesn't seem enough. So, yeah.
That's probably. I would have thought the same thing.
Yeah. So I think I got that one by default, and then the Nintendo playing cards, like I remember that from back in the day. So yeah, I remember.
I actually had no idea Street Fighter 2 came out in 1991.
Oh yeah, like I said, the
That's
early
the year
90s.
I was born in.
Yeah, and I was at Aladdin's castle. So yeah, but anyway, that's so the game costs $8, and the developers are Supervillain Games, and they need our support. Everyone needs to go buy this game because their other game is amazing too. I don't know if you've played the other one that they did. It's called Doug Hates His Job.
Heard of it and I haven't played it.
Oh, it's a classic as well. So basically, kind of like Office Space, the game, and yeah, it's a good one. So these guys are making good games. They're funny, they're enjoyable, and this one's retro as anything. So yeah, y'all should support old Supervillain.
If nothing else, maybe, it's 0 to half hour completion.
There's that too. So very little time in investment. Now you can play it as much as you want, but if you're just saying for the achievements, then yeah, it's not going to take too long. So anyhow, but there you go. That's one of the 50 pointers I wanted to talk about.
All right. Well, in that case, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, man. What you got?
So it's funny because we were texting and you sent the message to me and said that I'm sure that neither one of us are going to have the same achievement or even the same game. And yeah, from your first game, I haven't even heard of that. So
yeah,
clearly I haven't got that. And I am sure we're about to go 2 for 2 here because I would be shocked if you have even played The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Yep, you're. I don't even know what that is, but I'm looking it up.
So
it sounds like a big game.
It is definitely a big game. It's a big RPG.
Which one? God, there's
favorite.
Might
be my favorite RPG of all time.
Which number is this? There's like a ton of these things. 4. Okay.
4 Oblivion. So the particular achievement I want to point out is Listener, Dark Brotherhood.
Okay.
Yeah, Oblivion's one of my favorite games. One of my all-time favorite games, probably might be my favorite RPG of all time. I'm a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls series. These are all games that Elroy will never play because they take more than 2 hours to complete.
Wait. That may not be true.
And they're AAA.
Can you load them up in Windows and cheese the achievements?
Sort of, kind of, with the Skyrim PC version.
Okay. Okay. Well, that there was a chance. See.
Yeah. See, these games I've actually played. I like Elder Scrolls 3, hundreds of hours in. Elder Scrolls 4, hundreds of hours in. Skyrim, I've completed it twice, and both of those, I have like 100+ hours in. I love these games to death. And,
Oh, I just don't understand I actually heard of Skyrim, I think.
So this was the game before Skyrim. And in my opinion, Oblivion is the best in the Elder Scrolls series.
Is this does this game explain the backstory of the guy that took the arrow to the knee?
No, it does not. And I'm actually surprised you know that.
That's the only thing I know about Skyrim is there's some dude in there that took an arrow to the knee. An NPC of some sort, and he tells you about it every time you walk by him. That's literally all I know about the game.
One day you'll find an itch to play in a AAA game that's not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can't even play those anymore. I've been ruined, man. I've started I'm serious. The last 2 or 3 Assassin's Creeds I hadn't even finished. I get to them and then. I don't know, maybe I feel like there should be a support group for us out there, like, because I'm playing it and I'm like,
They're been playing for like different now.
Yeah, well, I play it and I'm playing it for like 30 minutes and nothing's popping, and I feel like there's this pressure, like this, like, like something's got to happen here. Like, I need a pop or something. Like, I start getting the shakes or something, you know? And like,
that's bad.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like 45 minutes in it. I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but
y'all
I
got
feel
any
like
more
it's
than
just
Chivos?
I feel like I'm like wasting my time or something, which it's, you know, like, of course all of it is, but you know, it's just, I don't know. I the last two, I haven't been able to go back and finish them because it just felt like everything was taking too long. I don't know. So I got a real problem. I've been ruined as a gamer. I realize this, but carry on. I'm sorry.
You're good. See, it's funny because like I enjoy stories. I enjoy the AAA games. I enjoy good games. And this in particular, this is an entire side quest line. Like you have the main quest, which can take you hours to complete. This one is just a side quest line that could take you hours to complete.
Ugh.
Now, I'll go into it a little bit.
Right.
This isn't no spoilers. And even if there was a spoiler in here, the game came out in, what was it, 2006, I think? Like,
oh, wow, yeah.
It's an old game.
Yeah.
March 20th
young.
of 2000. Oh my God, that's 17 years old. Holy crap, I played that. Wow, time just hit me.
Welcome to old age.
You for reals though. But in the Elder Scrolls, you have the option to be able to do different side quest lines. You can go into the Mages Guild, you can go into the Thieves Guild. The Dark Brotherhood is basically the underground assassins group. And I personally enjoy Oblivion the most because in Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, it was like, it kind of gave you complete and total freedom. There was a lot of heavy RPG elements, but the world was a little dull, but that's also was on the OG Xbox. Then you have Skyrim, which is number 5, who has this unbelievable world. But in my opinion, the quests really aren't super memorable. Well, Oblivion, being number 4, smack dab in the middle, in my opinion, kind of merged at the most. And there's so many memorable moments from Oblivion for me. And the number one thing that sticks out Oblivion for me is there is a particular Dark Brotherhood quest. Now, like I said, you are an assassin. And when you're going through all the different quests, it's always to go assassinate a particular person. And there's this one quest where you have to assassinate a group of people. Now, I'm sure you have probably been to or at least heard of like the murder mystery parties where like a group of friends get together and you play like real life Clue, essentially.
Yeah. Those are fun. I like those.
So in this particular quest, you reenact that. However, everyone else there just thinks that this is a dinner party amongst rich elites and whatnot. It's just some party, whereas you have this secret task of murdering everybody. And you walk into this house. You have to have a special invitation that they give you, that they forward to let you in. When you get inside, your brothers and the Dark Brotherhood, they lock all the doors so no one can escape. And this is where this quest kind of comes alive. And it shows just the unbelievably great design that Bethesda is able to do, because before you start murdering anyone, like you see all the NPCs like talking to each other and interacting, just walking around the house and whatnot. Now, keep in mind, this is 2006, so it's not like it's super in depth compared to what we have today, but back then it was great. And you know, you can just sit there and mingle. You can talk as amongst the party guests, and if you want, you can just go guns blazing and just start hacking and shooting and killing everyone. Well, not shooting with crossbow, I guess. You can just, you know, open fire and just murder everyone. Or you can do like I did and try to take the stealthy approach and kind of sneakily go through and just take out people one by one. And it was really interesting and fun because as you kill one person, you know, their body's laying there on the ground, and then someone might come up and see it and alert everyone. And depending upon who died or who found them, they all had different lines, and they would react to this in a different way. up until, you're now one, there's only one person left, and obviously that person knows that they didn't kill everyone. So it's like, all right, I'm the last one, so it's either put up or die. So they try to attack you, but being like a rich aristocrat, they're no match for you. And it's just that mission in particular stands out to my mind. On one of my 360 somewhere, I know I have the save where I would just periodically just go back and play the quest. Back when, wasn't really doing achievements or didn't have all the games that we did now. And I was just playing this game for fun. I would just be like, I just want to play that Dark Brotherhood quest. And I would load that save up and go play it. Just because it was just that cool.
That's, okay, so I got several questions here. So
I can only imagine.
No, this actually reminds me of back when I was not a ruined gamer and I would play the Assassin's Creed games, and there was actually a quest similar to this where you had you became one of the musicians and you went and you were infiltrated the castle as the musicians kind of a thing. But I don't think you were allowed to. Yeah, I don't think you were allowed to play the way that you're supposed to play Assassin's Creed. So, but my question, my real question for you is, you've played the Assassin's Creed games?
Yes, all the way up to I stopped at Unity because it was just a buggy mess and it put me off of the entire series.
So, when you play them, do you play them the same way where you stealthily wander around, or do you play like everyone else and you're just where it's a hack and slash, not a stealth game?
It is a stealth game first. It is not a hack and slash, sir.
It is a hack and slash.
It is not a hack and slash. I know that's how you play that. It's not how it's
really
supposed to be played.
It is how you do it.
No, I try to be as stealthy as in any game.
I
always try to be as stealthy as possible. I like stealth. But once I get caught, it's just like, all right, well, it's your funeral, and then I just go guns blazing.
Well, so did you make it? I can't remember if Unity was. I think that might be the one. Was that the one where they introduced multiplayer? And where
I think that was Brotherhood.
No. The where you went on the actual, not some weird stupid little side game that had nothing to do with the game, like where the little cat and mouse thing. I never liked that. But anyway, they where you actually did the missions in the main game together.
Oh, that
I think it was the French
Unity.
One. Yeah,
it was the French Revolution. I did not play co-op in that.
Yeah, I just picturing like you and I teaming up.
Oh God!
You're like hiding in the bushes. I'm hiding next to you, and I go all Leroy Jenkins on you, and I just jump on it. I think that was what made a lot of people upset with that one, was that it was hard to find anybody that played your style. Like. Yeah.
Anyway. I want to be as stealthy as possible. I don't want to just turn into a hack and slash. There's other games that are hack and slash.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 6 other Assassin's Creed games, and but no, that it sounds like a really cool achievement. I like the sounds of it. That's neat. It reminds me of this other game, and I wish there's so many games these days. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was the one where it was centered around clocks and then time, and it was like gosh, I can't even think of the name of it. It's terrible, but like it's a murder mystery, and you got to go around and figure out like kill everyone or something. I'm doing a really terrible job.
No idea what you're talking about.
But it sounds.
I like murder mystery. That sounds.
I'm gonna find that someone out there probably knows what I'm talking about. I'm gonna find it before we're done talking. So you just talk some more, and I'll figure it out.
I mean, I don't know what else I can say about it, but yeah, I mean, it's a really cool achievement, and like I said, it's one of my favorite games. Well, I guess I can throw out this random thought that I had while you're looking for that. So when I was going through and looking for all my different achievements, or 50 pointers, obviously I went through and filtered them out. I kind of noticed that a lot of the older games, like Oblivion, for instance, they tend to have a lot of 50-point achievements. Like shout out Mercenaries 2, an amazing older game, had a bunch of 50-point achievements. Oblivion had a bunch of 50-point achievements. I should have wrote these games down. there's a couple of others that when I was looking at, it's just like, I guess when the achievement system was new and there was no real rules, people didn't really know what these things were. They're like, just make 50 make a 50 gamer score. Good enough. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like the kind of time when something simple, they're like, this will be 5 gamer score, and something actually difficult and might be like 50 or 20 gamer score.
Well, nowadays it's just 80s and 100s, like and 200s. I mean, it's just
completely changed.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just completely different now. You know, it's amazing how much it's changed even in the time I've been. I mean, I was still considering myself somewhat a new gamer, in the Xbox world, but I mean, it's so different now. And like, have you even looked at like the leaderboard on Gamerscore these days? Like, how much Redemption's got? And
a few weeks ago, we actually did that.
Oh, really?
We did that on the show impromptu. I went through and like, I don't remember the numbers exactly off the top of my head, but I saw like how many people have 1 million gamer score, how many people have 2 million, how many people have 3.
Oh yeah. I mean, 2 million's kind of the new 1 million.
And, it sure is.
It's just like it's craziness. Like I don't know. It's just kind of different, but I don't know if it's better or worse. I guess it's just different. Like I mean, at the end of the day, it's just what you're trying to get out of it. I mean, you're only competing against yourself, kind of a thing. It's not like it's really counts for anything. It's just, it's just for fun anyway, right? I mean, it's just, it doesn't mean anything, any of it. So, I don't know.
You can't find that game, can you?
I can't. Golly, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna find it. I don't know. All right, I've been looking constantly. Okay, well, let me get in my second one here. All right.
Let's see what you got.
Okay. So my second one, this game you do know. You've played this game. We've all played this game, or most of the older gamers have. And I wanted to go with something nostalgic, of something that reminds me of the podcast kind of thing.
I hope this is one that I'm thinking it is.
Okay, so I don't know if it is not, but this one is a very sought after, or was at one time a very sought after achievement, and then not so much near the end. So it is no other than Pinnacle 4 for upgrading a pin to the max level, and no other than Gears Pop.
Oh,
yes.
I did not think you would go that route. Good.
I know. Yeah, that one. I mean, when I think back over the last 5 years of the podcast, and probably the most enjoyable time I've had with the community has been with this stupid game, and that we all had it in common. It was like a common enemy. Like, everybody knew that the achievement list was ridiculous. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. It was stupid.
Oh, it was awful.
It was stupid ridiculous. Yeah. And everybody knew it, but everyone was in it together. And so we always had a crew. I forget how many you could have in your crew. It was like 50 people or something like that.
Something like
that.
And
so we'd have people drop off and other people get in. We had like a waiting list, and it seems like, it was...
the Discord. Oh my God.
Constantly.
The game, the Gears Pop channel in Discord, far and away the most popular channel at that point.
Had to be, yeah.
100%. Oh my God!
You could go at any point in the day. You could walk in there and go Horde, and then you knew that somebody would be on the game, and you had like 10 minutes to kill. You just go into Discord Horde, and somebody would arrive, and it was just
so good.
I
miss Gears Pop so much.
I do too. Like, I hated it when it was going on, and then
it was such a good game too.
It was. And I was just kind of looking at the numbers on this. I'm going to walk, those of you that missed it, I'm going to walk you through kind of what you missed here. So it's been dead for 2 years now. So if you're a really new gamer.
It's been 2 years?
Yes, it's been dead 2 years.
Oh my God, April 21.
Yeah, it went down.
Where did that time go?
I know, 2 years. And and so this achievement that I'm talking about, this was one of the, I think there's about 3 unrealistic achievements in this game, 2, 3, that were really beast. And this one really was the epitome of it.
Yeah.
Because, the Seriously Pop was, that one, of course, but you kind of had to do this one to kind of get that one. But this one was the first, like, really obnoxious one that you would probably try to conquer. So,
yeah.
The game had 100,000 people play it over the course, and this one had 2,400 actually get it, or around 2,500. But anyway, but that's misleading, because let's look at it when it first came out. And it's one of my favorite guides, is this guy that wrote this, and it's just really interesting to me. So he breaks down the math of it. So if you wanted to upgrade your pin, so the way this game worked is you got pins for winning matches and for opening chests and stuff like that. And so the pins would go towards characters, and so you'd have to have like 100, grub pins to unlock the grub or whatever, and so you get like 10 here, 8 there, 3 there. You might get a big chest and get like 50 of them or something. And then that would get you up to the next level. And then the next level was, it just exponentially got worse and worse and worse.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to see what it would look like, just read the guide for this. And he breaks it down amazingly. He's like, okay, so for level 2, you need 20 pins. For level 3, you need 30. And then it goes up, and it's like, you get up to level 14, that's when it seemed like it started getting silly, and then it's like 4,100, 6,400 pins, 10,000 pins, 16,000 pins, 25, and then the last one, level 20, you need 60,000 pins to get it fully upgraded. And then just crazy, and
awful.
Then he breaks it down by rare and by legendary, and legendary I think were the way to go, because there were so few of them and all this. But anyway, he does the math for you, and he's like, so basically, all you got to do, this is your plan, is try to get 15 wins a day, which
that's easier said than done.
Yeah, that is like, this will take you approximately 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours a day, and then that'll get you about 9,000 coins and 90 rare pins. And then that'll get you the 150 daily reward coins and 300 from weekly crew bounties. And then you add in win streak chest and end of season. Remember the seasons, and they'd always in. You get the cool chest, and then the end of season reward chest. So if you do that, if you were, very dedicated and get your 15 wins a day and do all that, it would take approximately 3 years and 10 months to max one single pin out. And it would take 16 million coins, basically, depending on randomness, maybe more, maybe a little less. And that's like option 1. And then he goes, option 2 is you can actually buy your pins using real world money. And he's like, does the math on that, and that'll cost you a very paltry $3,500. So
how does that all?
Yeah, $3,500 to the wonderful developers to buy the shortcuts. So what's interesting to me, however, is that the dude that wrote this guide, did you see this guide?
I'm looking at it now, yes.
Okay, you see the guy who wrote this, right?
Yes.
The Satanic Blowfish?
Yes.
All right. So Satanic Blowfish, you would think that he would be, not really into this game, but clearly from this guide, he knows everything there is to know about this game. But yet, if you look at who is the first person ever to win this achievement, well, that's no other than him. So,
oh, nice.
And so,
I actually didn't even notice that.
Yes, and so the game itself came out in August, 2019. And then when did he win this? He won it November 29th. Well, now this is showing he's the second one to win it. I'm not sure. I think he was the first to complete it. Yeah, he was the first to complete it, but he was the second to get this achievement. So he got it,
wow,
like a month later. So which option do you think he went with?
Shoot. In his defense, I just looked his profile up. He has 691 hours in this game.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I was more fascinated with him. Like who is this guy? clearly he spent this money on this game, and this was his game. Like this was. Imagine how upset he was when he found out it was going down. Like
right.
Right, like he just because clearly this was his favorite game ever because he spent all that money on it, but yet he still played it. Like so, I'm picturing this dude like buying the level 20 pin and then just dominating everybody with it because nobody had nobody had anything close to that. So it was like his ego boost because nobody. I mean. You could be the most skilled player in this game, but if someone has a level 20 pin, they're just going to march down the field and wreck you. I mean, you're not stopping that.
Especially a month into the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was probably going against, like, level 8s, like, it just slapping them and they just fly off the screen. You can't even use them for a few matches. You killed them so hard. And it's just...
Man,
anyway,
I'm
just picturing... I know, I miss this game too, man. So, I bring this up because it's I guess I stumbled upon this blowfish guy. I just thought it was interesting, but I really miss that where you could have your cell phone, where you could just pull out your cell phone, no matter if you're traveling, if you're in the bathroom, if you're wherever, and you just have like some 5 minutes to kill, and you could find somebody in the community and just hit it up. And if you did one, you were going to do probably at least 5 hordes, especially if against the Brumax, especially when the little glitch where you could take them down with the katana immediately. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you just ran those constantly. That was the fastest option. But yeah. Anyway, so I do miss those days. I wish that there was something like that. That's not. It seems like the only cell-based games are like card games these days. There's no.
Yeah.
There's nothing like this anymore. Like I just wish there was something there that we could like do that again. I'd love to do that again. So
did you complete the game?
I did. That's another interesting thing is that I was looking at the hours. Like you already brought up that Blowfish did 691 hours. Did you see how many hours you put into it?
I just noticed as you were saying that.
Yeah.
I put 153 hours into that.
That's it.
And I didn't complete it. That's so annoying.
Yep. It's gone, man. I put in the time. I put 519 hours into this game. A lot of that was actually playing it with my nephew, of all things. So this is a game that my nephew and I could play back in the day. Yeah, so it was really kind of cool to me in that regard, too. And I even put him into, I don't know if you remember it, but I had you put him in our crew. And
I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah, that was my nephew. So, I mean... Yeah, he was a young achievement hunter I was trying to make him into, but I don't want to talk about it. He just bought a PlayStation. Oh, gosh, I know. Oof. But, yeah. Anyway, but it was pretty cool. But if you look at also the completions on it, on October 31st, 2020, that's when it was announced it was going down. So, like, just over a year into it. At the point that they announced that it was going down, there was only 45 people that had gotten that achievement. And then before 2020, in the next 3 months before 2021 hit, just to show you how quickly this game eroded, 87 had it. So in the next 3 months, it doubled basically. And then by the time that it shut down, you had 2,500 that had gotten this achievement. So they really made it a lot easier near the end. You could just get all kinds of pins and everything. And yeah. And do you remember when they reimbursed everyone the money on it? Like anybody that bought anything? So maybe Blowfish got his money back. I don't know.
You didn't get it all back because I didn't get money back. Because I did put money
Really?
Yeah, I threw like...
I got my money back.
It was like a certain time period before it closed down. So like if they announced it in October, if you put money into the game like August, September, you got money back.
Oh man, I got lucky then.
Yeah, so I vaguely remember this, but I think I threw like another $10 at the game like 2 weeks ish before the cutoff, where the cutoff was. Where like if I waited like 2 weeks or so, I would have got my $10 back.
Sounds like you were just off on this game. No completion, didn't get you $10.
Well, so they didn't straight up say when they told us it's like, hey, it's going down in a couple of months. They didn't say, hey, we're going to make all the achievements easier. And I looked at where my progress was, and I looked at how much I had to go. I said, well, I ain't going to complete this game. So I went through and got what I could out of the game, and the 4 hardest achievements that I'm missing, I ran out of time. I couldn't get it, which was Seriously Pop, which is the one for basically doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Seriously Pop is basically the one for doing the other 3 achievements that I didn't unlock, which is the upgraded pin to max level, get promoted to the highest league, and spent 100,000 power in multiplayer mode. And I looked at my progress. I was like 55% of the way there for spending 100,000 power. So I would have had to just play this like crazy. And when I look at it, I'm like, I know I don't have enough time to complete this. Yeah, I'll just get the easy stuff out of the way, and I'll just be done with it. And it'll just be a muff completion. It is what it is.
Yeah,
then come to find out, like a month left, they're like, "Hey, let's make this easier." So had I actually tried it, I could have did it, which was irritating. I could have had the completion had I tried.
You could have, yeah. It didn't have to be muffed. It didn't have to be this way, Foof.
But they did not say. If they would have came out and said it sooner, I would have been like, "Oh yeah, let's go for it."
I mean, everyone just like, all right, it's time to go. I remember several people were just on it 24/7 the second they announced it. They're like, "Oh, I'm doing this." And it seems like Redemption was like the like the craziest one I saw. I mean, he was playing like, golly, just
all the time.
It just seemed like he was just constantly on it, and then he would do like. You would have to say, I'm done for now. You know, I mean, he would do like 50 hordes in a row, you know, and you'd be like, okay, I got to go do something else. And he's to keep going. So,
man, I miss this game.
Yeah, I know. We need something. We need something to fill this void. Anyway, but yeah, that was, for those of you that were part of that back in the podcast early days, I'm sure you have fond memories as well. That was a good time. That was fun. So, anyway, that's my second 50-pointer I decided to talk about today.
Yep. So, as we both assumed, we're going to go 4 for 4 for not mentioning anything. So,
I would assumed.
First one was just straight up like one of my favorite games. The second one here is, I wouldn't put it as one of my favorite games, but it's a very nostalgia based one. And this is probably another game you have not played, but it is the Vincible achievement in Borderlands. Have you played Borderlands?
I have played Borderlands.
You have?
Yes, that was back. That one barely caught me. That was back in Completionist Elroy days. That was before the crab broke me.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Crawrmax, yes.
Crawrmax. That's specifically the achievement that I brought up.
Oh no!
Kill Crawrmax the Invincible. Oh my gosh, what a coincidence. I completely forgot about that.
Yes.
Michelle helped you get it.
She did. That was
that's so funny.
Oh man. It was one of my milestones. I forget which one it was. I got I think it was like 600,000, I want to say.
That sounds right. Something like that.
I got a list here, and it was early on. Yep, 600,000 Crawrmax Borderlands. So, yeah. Oh, God, that crap battle. Oh, gosh. Yeah,
which is so funny. So, like, for me, this was another game I just played for fun. I love this game so much. And I remember when this DLC coming out, no one knew like the safe spot where to go. No one had any real strategy, so everybody was just like, "How do we do this? How do we beat this thing?" And the Crawrmax very much earned his title of the Invincible because just not a lot of people could beat him. And I remember being in a GameStop, just buying what other game, and a couple of people talking about how they're struggling through it. They don't know how to do it. And I just kind of overheard them. I was just like, do you guys need a fourth? I'm max level. I can help you try to take this thing down. And I just made random friends over this particular boss / achievement at GameStop. And for a while there, we hung out. And we played this. We played Borderlands 2. Or we played other stuff. I mean, I don't talk to any of them anymore. I don't even remember their names. But this was another like little nostalgia achievement that when I saw it on the list, I'm like, oh, I completely forgot that even happened. And this also is like from the Secret Armory of General Knox DLC, which I love. I love this DLC. There are quotes from this DLC that I say quite often. It lives rent free in my mind. I really enjoyed this DLC. I really like this game.
What's the quotes from it? I guess I don't remember any of the quotes from it. I'm sure that...
So the one guy, General Knox, was talking about overkilling things, and one thing he says, it's like mowing your lawn with a nuclear weapon. It's just complete and total overkill. And like in my head, I will say that when something is just complete and total overkill. I never say it out loud because like no one's gonna get it. Yeah. Me and my brother actually quote this next one often, where there's these two guys talking about a secret code, and the one was just like, it's real easy to remember. It's all color based. It's blue, yellow, cyan, orange. You just got to remember BICO. And to this day, for certain things, BICO is actually my like pin for like something stupid, which right. When you translate, it's 2926.
Oh, nice.
And no, it's not my bank account, so don't try.
Oh,
yeah, that's just good. Another one of those things where it's just that has stuck out in my mind. Where, oh my god, when did this DLC come out? Probably like 2010ish. But for like the past like 13ish year, February of 2010. So yeah, for like the past 13 years, that's one of those things that's just always been there in my head.
Yeah. So you said you teamed up with these guys, this rogue band of bandits from GameStop to take down this mighty crab. Were y'all successful?
Yes.
I guess. Okay, so you did get this.
Yeah, we were successful. Oh, and I meant to say that and forgot. I got sidetracked. But yeah, this used to be like one of those things where I would get on if like my friends weren't on to play. I would just join a random game, and it was something like you could see where people were at in the game, and I would notice that if they're in the Secret Armory DLC, I would hop in and be like, hey, do you guys need help getting Crawlerax or killing them? And if they said yes, I'd be like, all right, follow me. I would show them where to sit so they're safe. I had modded weapons, so I would just annihilate them. Good times.
Yeah, that one's set for me for 6 years. So I basically finished playing the game, it looks like in October of 2013. And then it sat there, and then I mentioned it was actually part of an early VSS where we talked about top 5 achievements dealing with tough bosses or something like that. And this was one of my nominees, and Michelle was she was unflinched. She's just like, oh, what? No, we didn't kill that thing. And I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, oh, I love to know how. And so she had to go dig up her save, and I really appreciate her doing it. But so if you have this achievement to do, don't come see me. I threw in the towel on this thing a long time ago. You need to contact him, and she'll get you sorted out. But yeah, so she helped me with that, and yeah, that was another early memory of the podcast there. So that was probably around that was 2019. So yeah, that was 4 years ago. So pretty much in the early days.
That's funny.
So
trying to bring up some nostalgia stuff and I accidentally do that.
You did.
That's
did.
Neat.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I completely forgot that.
That crab holds a special place in hell in my mind. Yeah, that thing, man, that was just not happening. Now, my question I hear is, see, I stopped. I'm a run gamer. I'm just a shell of who I used to be. So you've continued on and have flourished as a gamer. So I assume you've played some of the newer Borderland games that have come out.
I've only played 1 and 2. I never played 3.
I didn't either. I stopped at 2.
I want to.
I didn't either.
No real reason, just haven't got it. If it were to come to like Game Pass, honestly, Game Pass is probably why I haven't, because like I don't like to buy games because there's so much on that I'm already paying for.
Well, I mean, clearly the best Borderlands game is Tales from the Borderlands, but I mean that's not even close. But anyway, they my question is like, did they ever use Crawmerax again? Because it's like a very, I would assume a legendary boss, like the Crawmerax Jr. or something like that in a later game. It seems like they should totally troll everyone with that and just put this super impossible boss and call it Crawmerax Jr.
So
I don't know.
In the second game, I'm actually looking for the achievement now. The name is escaping me, but it wasn't Crawmerax, but there was another like ultimate big bad boss monster that you had to kill.
Is it a crab?
I don't.
Is it a rock lobster?
No. Let's see, where is it at? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I might have missed it. Like I know it was oh man, how do you pronounce that again? Oh yeah, Terramorphous. Terramorphous the Invincible.
Oh, that does sound. I'm sure I don't have that achievement.
Oh man, that one was a pain. That took myself, Elle, Prue, and Michelle quite a while to try to beat. We attempted this.
I don't see.
Oh man, I don't remember how many times we attempted this. That was a pain in the neck.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. Ironically, it has about the same ratio as the other one.
Which is funny because, like, I would think that this one was more difficult in my opinion.
Oh, I see references. I do see references to Crawmerax in here.
What a...
Yeah. Yeah,
what a memory.
Yeah. Well, that's a good choice. I'm glad you chose that one, though.
Yeah, I'm glad at least one of mine you at least had some experience with.
Yeah. Yeah. You nailed it on that one.
So
I do have...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I do have news.
What's that?
I did figure out the name of the
that game. What is it?
Yeah. The Sexy Brutale.
Oh,
the
okay.
Sexy Brutale.
I've heard of it, have not played it.
Yeah, it's that's basically like a murder mystery in a mansion, and it's kind of what you were talking about, but it's a cool little game.
Man, there's probably a couple of people that were screaming at
oh, I know.
at
it
their speaker
really took a long time to find that, so I hope it was worth it.
I've heard good things about it.
It is. It's let's say it says, imagine Groundhog Day meets a masquerade steampunk cabaret. And then
interesting.
Yeah, it's basically there's a time loop, and you relive the same day over and over, and have to, people keep dying in the same ways. But anyway, it's a cool little game. I liked it. There's a walkthrough, so if you want to try it. Yeah.
Now, I do want to give one honorable mention real quick.
Oh, I love it. What you got?
And honestly, I thought you were going to bring this up because I knew that you were bringing up some nostalgia stuff.
Okay.
Now, this game has a couple of 50-pointers, but I personally picked out the achievement Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home.
And the I want to see if you can get the game. The description for it is, make your college debut in front of the home fans.
College debut. Oh, was this NBA 2, The Prelude?
Yep, that's it. I thought for sure you were going to go with this.
Oh, man. That's back before it could go to hell. And it chose who it served. Yeah. The Prelude, right before. Do they still make those for PlayStation and give them achievements?
Oh, I don't know about PlayStation.
Well, I'm just curious. I mean, they obviously haven't made one for Xbox anymore. A free little, 1,000 pointer for fouling everyone and getting. Yeah, I love that game. The whole concept of the game was hysterical. Did you ever play it?
So we actually just mentioned this last week.
Yeah.
I played it. I didn't finish it.
How do you not finish it?
So I forget exactly how it all went down.
What in the world?
But it was something like this, where I started playing it. I got a couple of achievements. I got 4 out of the 10 achievements. And then I think I had to go somewhere because I put a little over an hour into it. I think I had to go somewhere and it's just crap. I didn't finish it. I'll come back later. And I turned my Xbox off.
Whoa. You did not even get close to finishing it.
Well, which means because I turned my Xbox off, it doesn't save.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I got angry. I don't want to play another hour of this with unskippable cutscenes again. So I just said, I'll do it later. And later never came.
Wow.
I actually
That's
think
crazy.
I might still be able to download this because it's in my my history.
It says it's got 8 discontinued achievements.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Duh.
You can get there's only one achievement available.
Actually, it has
there's
8 Oh, that's right. Yeah, because a bunch of it's in the My Player store.
Oh,
okay, yeah, it's I'm screwed.
There's two achievements. You can, that's so I have how many? I have 73 friends that play this game, and only 3 or 4 of them haven't finished it, and you're one of the 4. That's crazy. And you're not even close. You're not even in the ballpark.
No. That's why. It was it must have all been backloaded or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even remember at this point. It's been so long.
Well, okay. So, the way the game works is that you start the game. It doesn't matter what you do. You just start the game, and then as soon as the game, the matches start, the whole premise is that you're a player and you develop this player, and then he gets drafted to the NBA, and that's where the NBA 2K game takes over. And you can import your player and use it in the game. It's right. It came out to promote the game. So, but they didn't quite take out the bug in it, which is as soon as the match starts, you don't actually have to finish the match. All you have to do is foul out. So they bring the ball in, you just clobber the dude, and then you get a foul, and then they throw the ball back in, and you just run over and hit them, and then you get another foul, and then you hit them again, and then you get six fouls later, I think it's 6, right? And you get you're done for the day, and then the game basically is over. And so then they cut to, the end of the game, and then they're playing the cutscenes. Oh man, you played really hard that game, man. Yeah. They're all celebrating and everything. And then the next game comes, and you're back to your old tricks. You foul them, and then comes the big day, the draft. And you get drafted because you're such an amazing player that just, played 6 minutes the whole season, because you're fouling everyone out. So anyway, the whole game is hysterical. I love that game. And for those of you that don't know the rest of the story, which is that
I was just about to ask you about this.
Yes.
Tell you the story because it's been a while since you've told it.
Yeah. So we get achievements for Prelude, the NBA 2K17, the Prelude. Well, guess what? There's an NBA 2K18, the Prelude. Well, you might say, well, I sure don't see that on TA. Where's the achievements for this? But therein is the problem, you see. They did make achievements for this game. They did make this game, and they had achievements. Well, it didn't have achievements, but it sure had trophies. And the good folks over in the PlayStation world sure enjoyed them. So you might say, well, that's odd. Why would they make trophies for it and not achievements? Yes. So this game can go to hell. And so if you have any copies of NBA 2K17, just go ahead and dispose of them. They just don't love you the way you do.
I remember You taking a picture, you were in a GameStop of your civil disobedience where you took like the 2K18 like standee and put it on the floor.
Yeah, I did.
You're taking the game cases, turning them around backwards.
Yeah, I was. I did my part. I fought back I fought back against the system, and so in the back of my mind, I hope that possibly they got rid of the trophies for the PlayStation folks. It's only fair. Maybe they were like, whoa. We got some disturbances in GameStops across the southern part of the United States, and we someone even put a Shaq face down on the ground, and that was a really awkward conversation with the GameStop guy. I'm like,
I can only imagine.
I'm like, walk right over and throw it on the ground, and he looked at me. I was just like, just give me a second. Yeah, just give me a second. And took a picture of it, and then I stood back up. I'm sure he was, very puzzled by the whole thing.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah, and then I proceeded to turn all the 18s around. He was this weirdo. Oh, man.
It's like he works at a GameStop. He don't care. He ain't making enough for this.
Yeah, it's just, all right. Yeah, so... Anyway, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that one up too. That was a while. I kept it up. I think I don't know if I let it go for 19 or not.
I was just about to say.
I kept it up for a while. I finally have mellowed out in my old age, and I'll just let them be themselves. I mean,
I was just about to say, I looked on True Trophies. They got 2K17, 2K18, 2K19. So we got one of
it worked. It worked.
Eventually they stopped.
They did. Y'all are welcome. Y'all are welcome. See, they say, people say that one person can't make a difference. Here you are. I mean, that's not as crazy as, that's I want to see if there's a 50-pointer in this game. Let's see. This is like one of my fond, dang it, there's no 50-pointer in it. I can't bring it up. It's like one of the things I was most proud of with the podcast, which is they took a podcast segment, Brer Rocker and I did, and then magically a game appeared within a few months that was basically tied to that podcast segment. Of course, I'm talking about Donut Country.
Oh,
yeah. It's just coincidence that two achievement wildlife hunters came out that fall, and then in December there's a game with not just a raccoon but a possum as well in it. A little coincidental, isn't it?
Very coincidental.
I remember I tried contacting the developer about it and was trying to get him on for an interview for the podcast.
That had to be the wildest email he has ever received.
I'll see if I can dig it up. And he never wrote back, so I don't know. Maybe he was afraid that I was going to ask for royalties for giving him the idea for the game. So I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah, good times. 2018. That was even earlier days of the podcast. That's crazy. So that was like the first fall. And then, every time we talk, I bring this up, and I can never remember if it was you or Brer Rocker that did it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The person that interviewed that dude.
Oh, that was Corey for
what was the name of that game?
Shoot, it's on tip of my tongue. Path of Modus.
Path and Modus. Yeah, I can never remember which one of you.
No, that was Corey.
I don't know why I can never remember that one. Okay, I'm sure next time we get together and chat, I'll ask you one more time. And that one does have a 50-pointer in it for Dreamer. There you go.
Nice.
And for Goblin and for Scholar. It's got all kinds of 50-pointers in there. See, that one fit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Hawken also had 50s.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we need another one of those. Another little quick one like that we can knock out in the community.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time. I don't know. Seems like a shame to spend that on anything, that's not in that godforsaken contest that you won't enter. But, well, Foof, I appreciate you sitting around for a nice Chivo side chat.
Oh, of course. This was fun, as always.
As always. I have no idea if anybody's going to listen this far, but if you did, we appreciate you listening.
I very much appreciate you listening to us ramble.
Yeah, as we talked about. So hopefully we did the 250 episodes milestone. Hopefully we did it justice. So it's quite an accomplishment. So congrats to you and for all that you've done for the podcast. So thank you on behalf of everyone.
You too. You put in a bunch.
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
I'll be back soon. I'm on a 20 week leave of absence and of anything joyful. So.
I love the way you just sell that contest.
Yes, it's unlike any other. Oh man. Anyway, well, if you enjoyed our ramblings, let us know. If you yelled at your speaker about the sexy brutal, let us know.
And go into podcast discussion. Give us some of your 50-point achievements.
Yeah, indeed. And let's get that Gears of Pop discussion going again.
Yes.
Yeah, we. Oh man. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.